Colorado's going to dump it in. Binnington lets it ride to the wall. Robert whips it along the glass. 2 seconds left. That'll do it. Bring out the Zamboni. And put 12 wins on it. The Blues have won 12 games in a row, setting a new franchise record. A 5-4 win over Colorado. And the Blues made history tonight at Enterprise Center.
Let's get that on a Monday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. 203, your time check. Brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. You heard the man, Chris Kerber, right here on the Blues Radio Network, 101 ESPN. Blues set a franchise record, 12th consecutive win. Got a little hairy in the end, but what a performance by several Blues players to get that victory. They built a 4-0 lead against Colorado. The Avs, they're good. They storm back, and maybe we'll get into some of it. But I want to start here, guys. How remarkable is it that this Blues team, that at one point couldn't put together 3 straight wins, and we wondered whether or not they would do so, were the ones to set the franchise record with 12 consecutive wins. What a remarkable team, and what a remarkable stretch run.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, I don't even know if there's words anymore to describe the run that they have been on here. And when you look at the team, like you said, Anthony, that elusive 3-game winning streak was just nowhere to be found until just, not far after the 4 nations happened. And now you're sitting here at 12 wins in a row. You've beaten Colorado twice in that span. So there are some people around the league that felt like, well, the 12-game winning streak, pretty weak schedule in there too. You played Colorado twice, you beat them twice. You had the Montreal Canadiens who were fighting for a playoff spot, you beat them. The Detroit Red Wings were fighting for a playoff spot, you beat them. Mm-hmm. I mean, you beat the teams that were on your schedule, and there are some teams that were hungry for it. But yeah, this is it's an incredible run. Tonight here in Winnipeg is going to be an absolute massive test for the Blues. This Winnipeg team is very prepared. I can tell you, being at the rink today with all the Canadian media, like, every single person is talking about 2019. Hell, their coach even got asked a question if he feels like the Blues are in their heads because of 2019. The coach was like, listen, I wasn't even the coach at that point. There's a lot of different players, and there's so many more things going on here. But just like the massive media cities in any sport, here in Canada, the media jumps on something and they run with it. So we'll see. Again, tonight's a huge test. I feel like I've said that a lot in the last 7 to 10 days, but this is the best team in your conference right now, and you got to play them tonight.
It's been outstanding. I think the best part about this, when you have a winning streak like this, sometimes you can become complacent and you can kind of, just say, oh, this is who we are, we're good. I think the way that the Blues are winning, the fact that they're still winning is good, but that each game, there's something that's happening. You had the game against the Penguins where you give up a goal late and it forces overtime and you win in overtime. Yes, the last game against the Avalanche, you're up 4-0 and then that team comes storming back. It's almost like, yeah, you're happy that you're winning, but as a coach, you're also happy that these things are happening to your team and you can correct them. You can talk about it. It's much better to talk about those things after a win than to have to talk about them after a loss. You give up that goal to the Penguins and that team comes back and wins in overtime, that's heartbreaking because finish the damn game. You didn't finish it, but you found a way to win the game in overtime. Same thing with the Avalanche. That's a really good team. As Jamie says, you're up 4-0. They're not going to quit. You cannot just assume that you've killed them. No, you have to actually finish the deal. So the fact that it is a 12-game winning streak, but you're winning in ways that forces you as a team to look at yourself and look in the mirror and say, all right, we're good, but we're not a finished product yet. I think that that's the best part of it because you would much rather be correcting things after a win than having to correct them after a loss.
So, guys, the Blues, here's Jim Montgomery's impact. Since taking over as head coach in November, the Blues have posted a record of 34-16-6 for 74 points. That puts them on an 82-game pace for 108 points. So that's the impact for Jim Montgomery. The current 12-game winning streak during this playoff push, Jamie, you had noted this. games against Jets, Oilers, Kraken, and Utah Hockey Club remaining. So you actually went backwards and talked about some of the opponents that they had. The expectations coming into the season were, well, if you can make the playoffs, great. That's a win. But I think that has been reshaped. It's not just if they make the playoffs. It's, wow, this team could actually make some noise in the playoffs because the future is now. I think that's the most impressive thing, or the thing that, as a Blues fan, you feel great about. This isn't a team that's just kind of on a hot stretch. This is a team on a hot stretch that's got a lot of youth that is playing well, and they're playing without guys like Colton Parayko and Dylan Holloway. Like you said, Jamie, the words escape you at some point because this is just beyond words of how impressive this is.
Yeah, I think the one thing that you hit on there that has to be highlighted is the young players. And because they're the wild card. Going into any season with a team when you've got your young players, whatever sport it is, the young players are the wild card. Will they perform to the maximum of their ability? Will they be good? Will they be average? Will they be below average? Whatever it is, that's like your swing man right there. And the fact that Broberg, Holloway, Bolduc, Neighbors have all stepped up and played very good hockey, played unbelievable hockey for that matter, and now you add old Teach Me How to Snuggie in here, and he's looking pretty good with the puck out there. That's the difference right there. This Blues team is in because of those young players. Like, if you put this roster together and you don't have those guys, hell, I'll even put Joel Hofer in the mix. And if you don't have those players that I just mentioned playing well, you're not a playoff team.
Right.
If you're just not. If you have half of them playing well, maybe you're that fringe team we talked about. But right now, all those young guys are playing well. The veterans are playing well. And that changes the landscape. You go from being a hopeful playoff team to bring it on, man. Who have we got in the first round and who will we have in the second round? Like, I love when I hear players talking about second round opponents, whether it's Dallas or Colorado if you go up the Central Division, or if you go to the Pacific, whether it's Edmonton or LA. Like, that's the kind of talk I like hearing, and that's where the Blues are at right now.
Carey, is the other thing, Jamie, you had brought up Snuggerud. The fun thing, too, is if you saw Buchnevich, his goal, and he was assisted by Snuggerud, Buchnevich immediately starts pointing to Snuggerud because of the play that Snuggerud made. The hands that he displayed to get that puck to Buchnevich, and then Buchnevich did his thing. But immediately you have a veteran player that's pointing at a young guy saying, well done. So we are beyond like whether or not the young guys can come in and make an impact. They are being embraced and they're making an impact. And I think when you have that balance, Carey, this is a team right now that they can make some serious noise.
You saw it also when Snuggerud got his first assist, and Neighbors was like, no, you go down there and be the first one to get the congratulations from the bench. Like, that's just a team that's really understanding. Like, they're aware of their surroundings. Sometimes you can be so engulfed in what's going on that you're not really paying attention, but you're locked in, you're dialed in. This is a team that truly, I think, loves one another and respects one another and is going to play hard for one another. And Jamie, you know this, like, there are times where you got teammates you're like, man, it's just a coworker, like, this is a family we have here. Like, I was going to beat your father up, Anthony, didn't know he was your dad.
Yeah.
Because we love one another, right? I think the Blues have that mindset amongst each other. They would knock one of their fathers out if they didn't know that's who it was.
Shouldn't have been standing there.
Shouldn't have been standing there. Get out the road. Get out the way. Get off the tracks when trains coming
there
through.
You go.
You feel me?
Yep.
So I think this team is playing for one another. They care for one another. They're probably having so much more fun than they were earlier in the season. And it's showing on the ice. So I'm excited about, what the future holds for this season and for the next coming seasons.
Jamie, I want to ask you this. Bad puck luck that the Avalanche got back into that game? I mean, the two goals that they had scored early to make it 4-2. Nick Leddy, that's a tough play, winds up falling down, and that led to a goal. And then the other one, I think it was a Buchnevich who had the pass, or somebody had the pass up against
Shen tried to pass back to Shooter.
There you go. And you can always nitpick things that happen and it wind up leading to goals, but those two plays don't necessarily seem like they're structural problems. It's just, hey, maybe a better play on the puck and you don't see 2 goals there. Is that what you saw?
Yeah, those ones there, I mean, there's nothing you can even find in the video that you're like, okay, let's not do this. You know, like, they're not teaching moments. They're just bad luck throughout the game. I mean, Nick Leddy's one of the best skaters on the team, maybe even throughout the league, quite honestly. And he blows a tire there, bad edge, whatever it is, bad ice spot. What are you going to say? Hey, Nick, skate better? Like, you can't. And then Braden Shen's trying to make a nice little play. The only thing on Braden Shen's is you could say, hey, Shenner, keep it on the wall there. Keep it on the wall. Keep it in the trenches. Move it up the wall. Chase it up to the defenseman instead of making a pass back to the middle of the ice. But again, if that goes to Suter's tape rather than between his feet, then you probably have a pretty good zone exit on that play that doesn't end up in the back of your net. I was a little concerned at the end of the game. A couple of the goals that they scored again with the 6-on-5, like, you're giving up a lot of goals, 6-on-5. And you know, one of them, Jordan Binnington didn't even see. It was a seeing eye shot. It was right in front of me, and I couldn't believe it found the net, quite honestly, but it did. So if I'm the Blues, I'm thinking of ways that I can clamp down my 6-on-5, because if you make the playoffs, which you hope to, you're going to be in a lot of one-goal games, and you got to be able to lock it down, man. If you can't lock down and you let other teams back in, like, you're not going to 3-on-3 overtime.
Right.
You're going to an intermission, you're going to 5-on-5, and you're going to 20 minutes per period until someone scores, and you might be the team then that's, you know, on the outside looking in because you couldn't clamp down with your 6-on-5 against. So that's the only thing that kind of bothered me.
That's Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, talking a little Blues hockey. Eventually, we will get to the Cardinals. Jamie's with us for the first hour of the show today. Then we're off at 5:30 for the Blues and Jets pregame show. So Jamie's going to head off at 3. So we're going to save some of our Cardinals talk. And boy, there's a lot to get into with the Redbirds from,
I want to talk
from the
Cardinals.
weekend. Sure you do, Jamie. We'll let the pit bull out tomorrow, maybe on the Cardinals or the following day. But are the Blues quickly forming one of the better offenses in the NHL, despite not having that top 5, top 10 goal scorer? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
If you love sports betting the way I do, then there is only one real app to use. That's the Circus Sports Illinois app. I'll tell you why. They have the best odds. Out of any app that's out there, you can download all the other popular apps, and you can compare the odds between that app and the Circus Sports Illinois app, and you'll see that the odds are way better, which means your payouts are bigger. That's important. We love that. That's why I think it's the best sports book out there. They also got good lines for all of their futures bets. They got tight money line splits. You're truly, again, getting the best odds. So, yes, the money line splits are important. And let's not forget that they have your player props, your parlays, all the things you love to do, and that's available over at Circus Sports Illinois. They've got exceptional customer service, high betting limits for those who love to get to that area. So please don't miss out on the action. Download Bet Like a Pro with your Circus Sports Illinois app today and join in on the excitement just like I have. You are absolutely going to love it. If you or someone you know may have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Players get rewarded when they play well, and they play the right way. When you play hard, you're going to make up for any mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes in this game. But when you play hard and you compete on pucks, good things happen.
That was Jim Montgomery, head coach of the Blues, talking about Snuggerud and Bolduc and their impact of the game. This offense has been so impressive of late during this, especially during the 12-game winning streak. It kind of led me to wonder whether or not the Blues are forming one of the better offenses in the NHL, despite not having a top 10, top 15 goal scorer. Jordan Kyrou with 30, I think he's got 33 goals right now. He's tied for 19th in the league in goals, but they don't have Leon Draisaitl. They don't have Connor McDavid. They don't have Nathan McKinnon. But this offense as a whole, Jamie, it looks great.
Thank you.
It looks fantastic. And Zach Bolduc, can you talk about his development and then his role, the way that he has emerged and what they're asking him to do in this offense and how that has just catapulted this team to offensive success over the last 12 games?
Yeah, so, you guys got me?
We got you.
Okay, sorry to made a sound here.
Jamie's in Winnipeg,
technology.
by the way. Yeah, Jamie's in Winnipeg.
Yeah, it's a crisp 12 degrees here in Winnipeg.
Winterpeg.
Pretty awesome, guys. But so when you talk about Zach Bolduc or all the young guys in general, I think you have to give credit immediately to Jim Montgomery. You know, like Drew Bannister had Bolduc on the roster, but used him, I don't want to say sparingly, but he put bubble wrap around him. Any defensive zone face-off, he wasn't on the ice. Any plays out there that or tough matchups, he didn't play him out there. Jim Montgomery came in the very first day and was like, he's going to play. Mm-hmm. If he plays well, he'll play. And that's just the bottom line. Gave him some power play time. And look at what's happened. This guy's turned into one of your biggest weapons right now. Him and Robert Thomas are looking like Backstrom and Ovechkin way back when. Like, it's a massive exaggeration. I get it. But the point is, if you look at the last 2 or 3 games, that setup that they have with Bolduc in the middle, it's causing teams problems. Massive problems, because Zach Bolduc can score from there. Yeah. The teams have to respect that shot. If they don't respect it, it ends up in the back of the net, bottom line. And if they over-respect it, then somebody else is wide open. So it really has ended up being a really useful, purposeful power play from that setup. But I just think for Bolduc, you know, he was fast. He was offensively gifted. He thought the game at a high level when it comes to offense, but he was being restricted by, I don't want to say coaching, but he was being restricted by situational play at times to where he wasn't trusted to make those plays. Now, you know, the shackles are off, and he's been playing phenomenal. He's added physicality to his game. If you look at Holloway and Bolduc, they're very similar. They both skate well. They're bigger than people think. You should see the size of these guys off the ice, their legs and that. Like, they're powerful individuals. Great hands, great shot. And those are 2 guys that you didn't have them on your roster last year. I mean, Bolduc, you did kind of, but you didn't really use him. And now you've added 2 weapons out there that can play like that. So that's going to help anybody's offense when you find things like that.
No doubt. And then when you mix in guys like Robert Thomas, Carey, who, for my money, I don't know if I've seen a better version of Robert Thomas since the Four Nations tournament. And that's no knock on where he was beforehand, because Robert Thomas has been a key contributor for you for a long time. But to me, his skill set is on. He's just on fire since that Four Nations tournament. I don't know if it motivated him being snubbed for the Team Canada roster. I have no idea, but Robert Thomas is on a different planet right now.
I think you're seeing the best version of him, and I think the one thing, and Jamie, you probably can let me know if this is accurate or not, they got a line that is stagnant. Like, he's not playing with a bunch of different guys. It's one line, and there have been some changes due to injury, but you know, knowing who you're playing with night in and night out, I think that familiarity allows him to be the best version of himself, and he's playing at a high level. Also, you know, probably with the chip on his shoulder, being upset or being frustrated. Maybe it was due to the injury, or maybe it was just due to they didn't think he was good enough. Whatever it takes, whatever it requires to be pissed off, to play your best, you use that, and right now he's playing extremely well. And this is a team that if he's playing at his best, if Jordan Kyrou is playing at his best, and then you add the addition of Snuggerud and Bolduc and Dylan Holloway, and you get all of these young guys that can shoot and score and have the athleticism and the playmaking ability, you're seeing a team that is, again, they're young in terms of, some of these younger guys that are just getting their first sniff at it. But this team could be a problem, for years to come.
Yeah, you talk about Robert Thomas, and I think it's a combination of things for Robert. I think that the chemistry was off a little bit between him and his line mates for the month of January. I think he was still nursing a bit of an injury or something, possibly. And I think that also being snubbed and then being told by people from Hockey Canada, hey, you didn't make this one, but the most important one's next year. Go show us, And so he has come out. I mean, he's just playing fantastic hockey. And the one thing you notice about him, and I know that scoring points and winning hockey games will cure a lot of things, but whenever there is plays that don't work or situations that don't pan out, he's not as frustrated. He seems more patient with the process right now. I mean, can you imagine? So let's go back to January. We talked about the bad body language. He'd throw his arms up, he'd bang his stick, slam his door, And now you've taken that player to where he's doing what he's doing, but you've also now given him your most inexperienced player and put him on his line. A team that doesn't believe in their centerman or their player, don't give that player a brand new player that he could possibly horrify by being too hard on said young player. Do you know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
You don't do that. And so Robert Thomas, for one, really respects Jimmy Snuggerud's game. He likes a lot of what he's seen so far. Quick thinking, good puck movement, nice plays, and it's working out. So all of this to say that I think Robert Thomas, even though he's been around a long time and he's a Stanley Cup champion, he's still maturing as a player. He's still, not even as a player, as a human being, you're still maturing. Especially, man, what do they say? We don't hit our maturity till like we're 30 or something like that?
45.
Yep.
Yeah, it might be 55. I'm
actually 55. Yeah, 55.
I'm working on some things here too.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's my point. And for the athlete, who's been asked to do so much already for this Blues team, like that could be heavy lifting. And I think he's still navigating his way through it. But I do think we're seeing the best, most polished version of Robert Thomas right now.
Yeah, to your point, Cat Dad Gamer in the Snake Pit says, I'm glad we're talking about Thomas. He's still a young guy in his mid-20s. So goes to the point that you just made, Jamie, about his game still developing. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Which path in the playoffs would be best for the Blues? Jamie had brought this up last week. We'll have a little fun with that. That's next on 101 ESPN.
All right, St. Louis, listen up. If you are thinking of selling your home here, it is springtime. It is the best time of year to sell your home, but you're going to need a reliable, experienced, trusted agent that can get you the most money for your home and get you to the closing table. That's why I need you to call Gloria Liu. With your home sold guaranteed realty, Gloria has been in the business for over 20 years, and she understands the market in St. Louis. That is the best way to put it. She gets it. If your house is in a certain zip code, she is going to do the research, find the comps, and get you the most money possible for your home. And again, she's going to want to sell it fast for you. And why is she confident that she can sell it fast? Well, because she has a database with thousands of buyers in there. And those people will get to your listing, drive more traffic, more showings, hopefully multiple offers for you if that's the case. And in those cases, that usually means more money. And that's what Gloria Liu wants for you. So please don't waste another minute. Call Gloria Liu. Please tell her, though, that Jamie Rivers sent you in. That number is 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues beat Colorado on Saturday by a final score of 5-4, and they set a franchise record, 12 straight wins. They'll look for that 13th win tonight against the Winnipeg Jets. Pregame starts at 5:30. Puck drop is at 6:30. We'll talk with our Blues insider from The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford, at 4:30, so stay tuned for that. Over the weekend, the Cardinals were swept in Boston. They'll take on the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. First pitch is at 5:40, and the Battlehawks took care of business in their home opener over San Antonio with a win 26-9. Which path in the playoffs would be best for the Blues? We'll discuss it next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh. The Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me? Oh, wow.
I think, like every sensible person, Jets fans are hoping to avoid the St. Louis Blues based on how they're playing right now. When I talk to fans or in the comments at The Athletic, there is a real sense of 2019 deja vu. The one thing missing, though, is the Jets sort of collapsed down the second half of that particular season, and there were reasons to sort of poke holes in the Jets heading into that round two. I think this is a much better version of Winnipeg. At the same time, I think St. Louis is a scary team, and a lot of Jets fans are hoping it ends up being the Wild or somebody else.
That was the voice of Murat Ates, who joined BK and Ferrario. He's the Jets beat writer from The Athletic. We'll talk to our own Blues insider, Jeremy Rutherford, from The Athletic, coming up at 4:30. Interesting point that he made, Jamie, Carey, and Marsh, when he brought up how Winnipeg was struggling down the stretch in the 2019 Stanley Cup Finals compared to now, where Winnipeg is a wagon. Either way, he did say, yeah, I'm sure the Jets would love to avoid the Blues if at all possible. Before we get into, best path for the Blues in the playoffs, Jamie, what did you think of Murat Ates's comments there?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, every team has troubles coming down the stretch. They're hurt, they're banged up, they're this, they're that. I mean, not every team goes into the playoffs, on a heater, but for that matter. So I don't know. There were some things internally that the Jets had going on. Like, I know that Blake Wheeler was not well received as a captain and things like that, but that's their own doing. Mm-hmm. That's their own fault. It's not like that was just thrown upon them. They got that player. They gave him the captaincy, and so you deal with it. But I think the bigger picture out of all this is that Winnipeg believes that they have a better team right now. At least they want to tell themselves that. They want to tell themselves that they have a better team right now than they did in that 2018-2019 season. They also had really good teams following that, too, that got eliminated in the playoffs. So they have this massive shadow that is just lurking above them, that they cannot find playoff success. And when you have that in the back of your head, it makes a difference. Like, if you have to play the Blues in the first round and somehow you get down 2-0 or 3-1, you're screwed because you don't believe in yourself at that point. You're almost looking for reasons to not win. And that, I think, is a problem for the Winnipeg Jets. Now we're also putting the cart way ahead of the horse here. The Blues have not clinched a playoff spot. By the way, little information for our listeners. If the Blues win in regulation tonight and the Calgary Flames lose in regulation, your Blues will have clinched a playoff spot officially.
Beautiful.
Now, where they end up ultimately, whether it's wild card 1 or wild card 2, that is yet to be determined. But that's kind of where we're at right now for the Blues.
Well, let's just go ahead and do that.
Get it over with.
All right.
Let's just do that.
Easy.
Jamie, which path in the playoffs would be the best for the Blues? You kind of brought this up, I think, off air last week, and we were having some fun kicking around ideas now that we know that the Blues have set the franchise record for consecutive wins. And as you just noted, they're drawing closer to securing a playoff spot. What do you think is the best path?
So I think this is a trick question, and not that you meant it to be, but if we're talking first round matchup, I think the Blues match up better against Winnipeg Jets. I do. You look across the alleyway and you see the Vegas Golden Knights, and I've watched them play a couple of games here recently, and they don't even have all of their guys going right now. That's just a big, heavy team. The middle ice is so hard to get for the opposition, and over the course of a 7-game series, it's going to get harder and harder and harder to do that. So I don't necessarily love that matchup. Plus, they still have 3/4 of the roster that is the Stanley Cup champion from a couple of years ago. Guys that know what it takes to win seem to know exactly what it takes to win again. And
they don't forget.
They don't forget, and they love that feeling. So that, to me, is a tougher first-round matchup. But then beyond that, like if you're asking me, would I rather face the Oilers or the Kings or the Avalanche or the Stars, I'd rather face the Oilers or the Kings, because right now McDavid and Draisaitl are both injured for the Oilers. Will they be back for playoffs? Probably. But those are the two guys you have to nullify. Now, there's 2 really good players, but I think the way the Blues are playing, especially the way they hound pucks defensively and the way they activate their forecheck, like Edmonton's decor, we know, is not fantastic. And the goaltending is, who knows? Not sure. In L.A., same thing. We saw the Blues play the L.A. Kings this year, a pretty good record against the Kings. So I like that path. For me, it's a path of least resistance, because if you have to go through Winnipeg, then you got to go through Dallas or Colorado. Like, what's left of your team for the conference final after that? That's a tough road.
Marsh, I feel like you really enjoy this.
Oh, yeah.
This conversation, these times of what do you think?
I'm with Jamie. Obviously, Winnipeg, I think, is the better matchup for the Blues. The one thing that I'm interested to see is just how the Central ends up playing out, because there's another team in there that isn't too far behind Winnipeg right now in the standings, and that is the team that Jamie just mentioned that the Blues could play if they were to beat the Jets in the second round, right? That's the Dallas Stars, who are only 3 points behind Winnipeg for that first spot in the Central. So now I'm thinking, okay, if you get that second wild card spot, are you going to play Winnipeg or could you play Dallas? If the Blues win tonight, that's 2 more points. If they win in regulation, that's 2 more points that the Jets aren't getting, and Dallas only 3 points away. Would you want to play Dallas in the first round compared to a Vegas Golden Knights team? I don't know. I really don't know. At the end of the day, I'm just happy the Blues are in a spot to where they are in the playoffs. Like, once they get in, I'll just be happy, because I wasn't expecting this, 2 months ago. That just wasn't even part of the conversation. So either way, if you want to go far in the playoffs, you got to beat good teams anyways. So at the end of the day, I'm just happy that they'd get in. And with the way they're playing, honestly, I think they could beat anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think the way that they're playing is I wonder if teams are not worried about playing them, but when you're playing as well as they are and figuring things out, and they have the talent that they have, I think teams are looking at the Blues as the team that they want to avoid. We're talking about who the Blues might want to avoid, but you're probably looking at some other teams saying, I don't want to play that team as hot as they are, as high as they are. Like, they are a team that feels good about themselves. So, the playoffs, it all boils down to, being consistent and who's going to play the hardest and who's going to, find a way to win game and grit it out. But I think that this Blues team is going to be a hard exit, a tough out for any team that's playing against them. Hello?
Hello, this is Ned Schneebly. Jamie, what do you think if the Dallas Stars jump the Winnipeg Jets? Do you want to play them in the first round?
Yeah, I don't mind playing them at all. I'm watching them play the last couple of games. They look tired. Jamie Benn looks banged up. They've got some guys that they still have to get back from injury. That's a team that they're very good, but they don't scare me in a playoff series.
One other thing, too, I don't know if it's realistic. Blues are 5 points right now behind the Colorado Avalanche. Is there any possible way that Colorado kind of falls here in the next few games and the Blues are able to jump them into third place? We were in the same conversation about the Blues catching the Wild.
Very true.
There's not that many games left, but that'd be crazy if the Blues slipped into third place.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I would love it. For the story of it, great, but you got to remember, the Minnesota Wild have no scoring on their team. Kaprizov, Eriksson Ek, their two best players are out right now. They're not scoring. They're losing games. The Avalanche, we just saw them the other day. I mean, if it wasn't for Jordan Binnington for a large part of that game, the Avalanche could have put 7 or 8 goals on the board. So I don't see them stubbing their toe here in their last handful of games.
Yeah, I don't either. You're right, though, Marsh. We did have that conversation once about
fun.
The Blues maybe getting to that number one spot, and that seemed number one wild card spot. That seemed like it was impossible at one point. So, yeah, it's been remarkable. Go figure. You win 12 in a row, and a lot of things change. Yeah, Carey, you were looking at the point differential.
Yeah,
and how they have. I think weren't you the one that said, and I get why you were saying it. Like, just get positive.
Find a way to allow less goals than you score. Like, score more goals than you allow, and they have turned this thing. I think the lowest was, at one point when this streak started, it was minus 15, I believe, and now they're
somewhere
plus
in that
20.
Area. Yeah.
So the goal differential, obviously that means they're scoring more, but they're playing better defense, and that is something throughout the entire points of the season, you're like, man, this team was so frustrating to watch because it felt like it was lackluster. And being an athlete, the guys are actually trying hard. It's just they weren't getting the results. But now it's like they're connected and they're doing all of the things that are required to win games. And it is actually fun to watch. I said it a couple of weeks ago. It's fun to watch meaningful games, right? It's fun to watch, to be dialed in at the end of the season and have something that you're actually playing for. And this team has given us this, and this is something we haven't had for a long time in St. Louis. Few years. It feels like
2 years, yeah.
Feels like 10 years when it's 2 years. But yeah,
missing the playoffs sucks.
It stinks. So they are doing the little detailed things that are allowing them to win, and it's been great to watch.
At 5:30, we'll have the Blues and Jets pregame show for you, and of course we'll have the game action around 6:30 or so, right here on 101 ESPN. We got Jamie for one more segment, which means we've got Jamie's keys to the game, and we'll also continue our Light the Lamp game as Carey, he just keeps marching along here. Almost secured a victory for Light the Lamp. Jamie's keys to the game tonight. Light the Lamp next on 101 ESPN.
You've got Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter back with you here, and we're going to head out to our buddy Stewie in a second here, and that's Stuart from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. And Stewie, the market is crashing, interest rates are lowering. I mean, what should our listeners be looking for right now?
Well, this is a knee-jerk reaction in the market, so you got to take advantage while you can. If you're an investor and you're going to invest in the markets, you have $1 billion to invest. If the stock market's going down, you take that money and you buy the bonds where safety is. When there's more demand than there is supply, interest rates go down. So this can be a knee-jerk reaction. The markets can bounce back and interest rates can go back up. If you're a customer of ours, we're already calling you and telling you to refinance. That's the key. If you're not a customer, call us now. Refinance free with the bagel loan. It's a great opportunity, especially if you've got a loan in the last 3 years. This is the lowest that I've seen. You can get it free with the bagel loan, no closing costs, save thousands of dollars. This morning, we had 3 ESPN listeners that called in. They're saving between $100 and $400 a month for free. They finance somewhere else. They got gouged with the closing costs. We're saving them. It's not costing them a dime. So grab the opportunity. This can change overnight in 2 seconds. Do it now. Later on, rates go down again. You can always do it again for free.
Yeah, you heard the man. Give him a call. Now's the time. You hear what he said about if you're already a client of his, Stewie's calling you right now, telling you to refi. So when you become one of his guys, he takes care of you, just like Jamie and I. So give him a call, 314-324-4440. You heard about the no closing costs, and you heard about the no lender fees. That's his bagel loan, and that's something that you can Google as well. Google the bagel loan, and you'll get that number too. Stewie, keep up the great work.
Go Blues.
NMLS number 226715.
Your car is a huge investment, usually only second to your home. So that if you're looking to make modifications to your vehicle, please visit my friends over at Pure Performance. They are your one-stop shop for all aftermarket modifications, and they're the only place I bring my truck to. And they do such a wonderful job. They've got the tires, the wheels, the lift kit, the leveling kits, the light kits, the running boards, you name it, they've got you covered. And that's for Jeeps, SUVs, trucks of any make and model, any vehicle for that matter, even minivan if you want. And if you don't believe me, head over to their 25,000 square foot facility. It's awesome. It's like a giant playground for your vehicle. You get in there, ask for Shelby or Paul, tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. They're going to find out what you're looking to do, and they're going to take great care of you. Technicians are awesome. While you're there, get your car worked on. It's a full service garage, so anything else that you need done, Pure Performance can help you under the hood, as well as your accessories too. And let's not forget that they've got tires for any vehicle, make, model. You got it. They've got you covered. And they also have wheels and tires now for ATV, UTVs, and golf carts. So no excuse not to stop by and say hi to my friends at Pure Performance. But if not, visit them online at pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
Tonight, we'll have the Blues-Jets pregame show for you at 5:30. We'll have the puck drop for you at 6:30 on the Blues Radio Network right here on 101 ESPN. We've got Jamie for the next 10 minutes, so why don't we do some keys to victory, Jamie, before you get out of here?
Yeah, for me, keys to victory tonight is you need a good start. You can't get behind here in Winnipeg. You've got to strike first if you're the Blues. And in order to do that, they're missing a couple of defensemen on the back end. Get the puck in deep. Work these guys. Work the defensemen. Establish that forecheck. And then make Connor Hellebuck's life miserable. Get in front of him. Get in the blue paint. Get on top of him. Pucks from all different angles. Just don't let him get set in the net. And again, this one's going to be redundant, but bring the physicality. Stay physical. The Blues play much better when they're involved in a physical battle. It seems to ignite them a little more. Keep the power play rolling, and don't turn over pucks. The big one, by the way, stay out of the penalty box. I think Winnipeg's like 3rd or 4th in the league on the power play, and you don't want to give them too many opportunities. So keep your discipline, stay out of that box, and get to work, baby.
All right, that's Jamie's keys to victory. Well, we do light the lamp right now.
And a couple of guys can really shoot the puck.
Shoot! I must confess you scored first.
Well, who was the first person?
Breakaway. Shoots. Score!
We got hockey to learn.
Marsh,
Yes.
what's the updated standings there, kid?
All right, so Carey is still in first place. He has 25 points.
Whew.
I'm behind him with 17. We did have a change in the standings after the Blues beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. And why is that? That's because Jordan Kyrou scored and gave Anthony 1 point. He is now ahead of Jamie Rivers. Ooh. Anthony with 12 points, Jamie with 11.
My goalie picks are biting me in the ass right now, boys.
A little bit. You're leaving the door open.
It's difficult. A little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Carey?
Well, I'm gonna step out on a limb and say that this young man, it's his first ever goal. Jimmy Snuggerud. Yeah. And by the look on Marshy's face, it was a great pick by me.
Seems like it.
Yep.
I'm going to go with another young gentleman on this team who is playing some great hockey right now, and that is Zach Bolduc.
Oh, yeah. Good pick.
I'm going to go with another young gentleman that is playing some of his best hockey. Give me Robert the Thomas.
Oh.
I know you thought that I was going to do.
What you think I'm going to do?
But I'm not going to do what you think I'm going to do and take Jordan Kyrou. I'm going Robert the Thomas.
All right. I'm going to go State Farm, Jake Neighbors.
He's playing well. Starting to find the stat sheet a little bit more these days.
And he's a 2-pointer, so trying to,
Oh, you're trying to surpass me, aren't you?
Yeah, Anthony. Step on your head as I walk past you.
In one goal, one fell swoop. That's what you're trying to do.
Yep.
I see you.
Yep.
Hey, Jamie, we got a text from the Air Comfort Service text line asking if there's any concern about the Blues being outshot in their previous few games.
Well, they were outshot last game. Were they outshot by Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Really? How much?
Well, why don't I just check real quick?
Yeah, I'm not concerned about it.
28-19 on that one.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about that, really. Until it still starts reflecting on the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you've got two goalies that play so well.
Jamie, I think the only concern that you really have over this win streak was something that you brought up last Friday when we were at Centene, and then unfortunately it showed up again on Saturday night. Got a win, but it's the 6-on-5 play for the Blues because that has been an issue, a reoccurring issue. So how do you solve that?
Yeah, so I don't know if they do this, but I just know that when I played in Ottawa, we had a really good team, and we would close out games. And I'll never forget the one practice we had. Our head coach was Jacques Martin, and you're playing 6-on-5, and then he would throw another guy on the ice, and he'd actually have 7-on-5, and he would make it so difficult for you. And then 5 minutes into the drill, he'd take the 7th guy off and go 6-on-5, and it felt easy. And it felt like you were able to close down more things. And we would do this at least once a week, and it helped close out games. It helped guys realize where they have to be, how they have to play. So, again, that's just one drill. that we used, but it's being in the right spot. It's keeping everything to the outside. In the Pittsburgh game, the defenseman just got too far off the goal line. You can't do that. The guy on the half wall, even if it's Crosby, let him shoot from there. Mm-hmm. If he can put it through 2 or 3 bodies and find the open net, then, hey, man, you tip your hat to him. But you can't give them pucks down low where they're able to just jump off the goal line and score. You can't leave guys wide open where the shot lane is available. It's just little things. And it's not that the Blues aren't willing to do the things right now because they're blocking shots or doing everything they can. It's just little mental lapses here or there. So video room, and then I can't imagine that Monty and the group won't work on this in practice moving forward.
That's Jamie Rivers, and he's got the coverage tonight for the FanDuel Sports Network. Jamie, we will see you on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm going to put my bet the board in, if that's okay.
That's smart. That's real smart.
Because I like to get my pick in,
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Nothing, guys. Nothing.
Okay. You always have a pick.
Always.
Yeah. Oh, I know I do. Oh, they're always great. Tremendous, too.
Yep.
High odds. Let's go with Nikita Kucherov, power play point. That's at plus 140.
Okay. There you have it. All right, Jamie, have a great call tonight. Again, we'll see you on Wednesday.
You got it, buddy.
All right, buddy. Chris, go. What's that? Say see ya. See ya. Adios. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Again, we got the Blues coverage for you tonight, starting with the pregame at 5:30. It's time, well past time, the Cardinals move on from Miles Mikolas. But will they, following last night's disastrous performance?
Anthony, you don't know ball.
Even if I didn't. Gary, even let's just say that's true, and it is. Even so, I recognize an accident when I see one.
Okay.
That's next on 101 ESPN.
With over 2 decades of family ownership and operation, my friends at E&B Granite, they are St. Louis's trusted name when it comes time to renovate your kitchen, your bathroom, or your outdoor living spaces. E&B Granite, they have an extensive selection of custom countertops too. And this is something I learned when I went down there to the showroom. All the countertops are in the back. You go take a look. They've got everything from marble to granite, soapstone. I mean, it's just awesome. And a lot to pick from that you can really get a good look at. They also offer great flooring that caters to diverse tastes, and a variety of colors, patterns, and styles are guaranteed to bring new, vibrant life to your living space. All this is backed by a skilled team of professional fabricators, installers, and in-house design staff. E&B Granite is my first place that I call when I'm doing any kind of renovations. They helped me with my kitchen. It turned out absolutely fantastic. I love every bit of it. So please stop by the showroom at 6135 Manchester Avenue, or give them a call at 314-645-9300. Again, that's 314-645-9300. You can also visit them at enbgranite.com.
second, and Alex Bregman delivers at Fenway again.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN 303. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. That audio courtesy of ESPN Radio and the Sunday Night Baseball crew there. Miles Mikolas was nothing short of a disaster last night for the Cardinals. I know he got squeezed on the one where it could have been strike him out, throw him out. So I don't want to overlook that. But almost every other ball that was put in play, or any other ball that was put in play, ricocheted off the green monster at about 600 miles per hour.
Is it possible
about
to
Mach 9 off the green monster?
Can you dent the green monster?
I'm sure it's dented.
Check.
I'm sure it's dented today. Yeah. You know how like it's you get a hailstorm, you got to check around, you got to check the roof and things like that. I'm sure the fine folks that operate the Green Monster at Fenway Park are looking at the damage created from last night. 18-7, total embarrassing outing by many pitchers for the Cardinals overall in Boston, but
as a whole,
Marshy. Miles Mikolas, 2 2/3. He allowed 11 hits, 8 earned runs. Walked one, struck out one. He's got a crisp 11.25 ERA after 2 starts.
It's not bad, is it?
It's very bad.
Oh.
It's horrendous. Jeff Jones really summarized things when he tweeted out, and I'm going to pull this tweet up because our guy, it's Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs. Since 2023, Miles Mikolas boasts the second worst ERA in Major League Baseball, the worst strikeout percentage, and ranks in the top 5 worst starters in FIP, BAA, and WHIP. And yet, he leads Major League Baseball in starts over that time. Why? Sunk cost fallacy, and the Cardinals need to put an end to it.
Yeah, what Miles Mikolas did to me, obviously it wasn't a good start. But it was more egregious because you had literally, it's a doubleheader. You had literally just pitched. I mean, Ryan Helsley blew the save.
Right.
And you had to have that many of your relievers pitch hours earlier. And so what you needed from Miles Mikolas, and I know you got the extra player with Graceffo being able to be added because of the doubleheader.
That helped.
That didn't help. What you needed most from your veteran innings eating pitcher was to not give up 11 hits and 9 runs or 8 earned runs. Like you couldn't afford that.
Yeah.
So because what that did what that could do is set your bullpen back for the next week or so. Like you're looking at a team now because you had to pitch so many guys in a day because. Again, Ryan Helsley, he screwed up as well. He had a bad outing, and then you have your guy. He's not an ace. He's a 4, but he's your guy because he's been here. Of all the starting pitchers, he's been here the longest.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
you have you have an expectation for him to. Hey man, I need you to give me 5 solid innings. No, don't feel like it today, Skip. Gonna throw a little bit of see how hard these guys can hit this damn ball today. Like it's bad. Yeah. And you talk about the sunken cost. At some point, you do have to consider if you're not going to release him, if you're not going to waive him, you're not going to move on and just eat the money. You're going to have to move him to the bullpen. You're going to have to put him in a position where he's only slated to give you an inning and a third, maybe 2 innings.
Yeah.
Because that might be all that he can give you. And then you bring in a Michael McGreevy and say, hey, young fella, let's see what you got. Because this, to me, was bad, man. Like, it was bad. And the offense, they got 10 hits again, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you give up 18 runs.
Typically not, no.
Hey, Miles, can you give us 5? Yeah, sure, I'll give you 5. No, not 5 runs in the second inning. We meant 5 innings pitched.
Nah, no thanks. No thanks.
So many of you are already familiar with this, but for those that aren't, what is the sunk cost fallacy? It is essentially sticking with a project, a decision, in this case, a player, because you've already used the resources on it, whether it's money, time, effort, you're already invested. So it's like, well, we've already got the contract, we're already paying for it, might as well just stick with it. it doesn't mean it's a good decision. You're just doing it because you've already, utilized those resources. It's as dumb as saying, Carey, back in our day when there were CDs, like, oh, I can't break up with this person. They got a couple of my CDs. I'm invested at this point.
Nah, man. You go to that,
deal.
get that CD, that magazine where you can order the CDs and they send them to you.
Oh yeah, that's not a ripoff.
Not at all.
We are gonna,
$2 for how many CDs?
This is amazing, and then you're locked in. Those are crazy. We are going to do our coaching from the couch mic drop series. So if you want to leave us a mic drop, please do. That's a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop via the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. If you want to leave us a mic drop and kind of air out any grievances you have with the Cardinals, great. The question to me is not should the Cardinals move on. They should have moved on from Miles Mikolas a while ago. I mean, he hadn't pitched well in a while. Obviously, we had the numbers for you from Josh Jacobs since 2023. He's been one of the worst pitchers in Major League Baseball. The question is, will the Cardinals move on? Well, here's Katie Wu of The Athletic, who joined BK and Ferrario earlier today and talked about how long Miles Mikolas' runway is.
I think they're going to give him extended opportunities, and we'll see how Steven Matz looks. I'm not too confident. I mean, this is just my speculation about the feasibility of the six-man rotation, given where the bullpen is. But I'm sure we'll get into that. And the Cardinals still have about 10 days before they get to their plans for that six-man rotation. It depends on what's going on in AAA as well. There's been a lot of rainouts for Memphis, so that pitching schedule is kind of weirded out. We'll see how McGreevy looks. He's, in my mind, the first man up there. So it just depends. I think the Cardinals are trying to stay as competitive as possible. Look, they're 4-5, haven't even played 10 games yet. I don't think we can write them off officially after a 9-game sample size. But certainly Miles knows that there's a lot of pressure on him to figure this out early because there is that runway that they have for the younger guys that they want to see. And while the contract's going to play and there is a desire, and the club has said this, for him to eat innings, he did not do that obviously yesterday. There is some sort of internal desire for the veterans like Fetty, like Mikolas, like Matz to eat innings and maybe save some of these young arms so they're not coming up in their first full season and having to notch 6-7 innings a game or a start. So I'm not sure what the runway is for Miles Mikolas. I know that last start was certainly not encouraging, and he's someone that, based on his last 2 seasons of work, is not going to have a lot of optimism from the fan base as well. But it's much too early for the DFA Mikolas fan group that I see over Twitter. Just to let you know, I did completely get off the app for the second game. It was like, this is not worth it. We'll talk to you guys on Monday.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Katie. And by the way, when we were laughing, we chuckled earlier, wasn't that Katie? It was at the Cardinals for, he's probably going to get an extended runway here.
That makes sense.
It comes down to, you're the front office of the Cardinals. When do you just decide we've seen enough of this? It should have been, a year ago, but at what point are you comfortable, if you're the front office, to just bring up the young players? That's all this really is.
You could be doing more harm than good. Like, you didn't perform well, and then you threw Gordon Graceffo in that mayhem,
right?
Which is unfair for him. Just got here.
You know what I thought of when they did that? I pictured them saying, "Here, wear this." And walk out here. And
it's unfair.
He didn't realize that he was wearing raw meat.
Yeah.
And walked right into the Lions' den. That's what I pictured.
It's unfair because he's a young player. He's trying to figure, and what that does to your confidence. Like, you want a soft landing spot when you are a younger player. You want to ease them into it. And he had to get thrown into it because, again, you pitched so many pitchers earlier in the day because of just you were trying to get a win and then winning the extra innings and whatever. It just wasn't a good outing earlier in the day because you didn't finish the game, and then you had to throw him into it because Miles Mikolas gave you 2 1/3 innings. Like, at that point, you're already down. What was it, 9-0? You might as well. Was it 9-2? 9-2. Sorry, my 9-1. My apologies. I apologize. It was 9-1.
Come on, Carey.
Show some damn respect.
This offense.
I'm sorry. Actually, it was 10-1. Excuse me. Make sure we get the correct number. At that point, you might as well just say, "Hey, man, whatever, brother. We probably ain't winning this game. You're gonna wear this one."
Yeah.
I can't help you because I don't want to throw this young man in there and watch him get shellacked and hit around.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's watching you, and it's not a good performance. But we gotta figure some things out. And I just don't like that for Graceffo, and I don't like it for what the Cardinals are trying to do. It was not a good outing.
And this is unfortunate because the offense, we talked about this on Friday, the offense is playing very well. Like, the losses that they've had, they're hitting the ball. Like, they're scoring runs. You score 7 runs in a game, you should win that game. The pitching has not been good, and they need to fix it because I honestly, like, looking at the offense, this team does intrigue me, and maybe they could do something. But the pitching will not allow them to go anywhere this season. You can't win like this.
They have lost games in which they have scored 4 runs, 7 runs, 9 runs, 4 runs, and 7 runs. That's bad.
That ain't good.
That just shows you what, to Marsh's point, to your eyeballs, Cardinals pitching has been terrible. So we avoided the lineup so that we play the lineup game. We wanted to go all Blues early on with Jamie and then also discuss, we didn't want to go forward before talking about last night's destruction at Fenway Park. But we got the lineup game next on 101 ESPN. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Time to play the lineup game, which should be interesting with some of the injuries, including Ivan Herrera. We didn't even get into that because the pitching was so awful. We had to spend the entire segment talking about how bad the pitching was. But Ivan Herrera was placed on the injured list today after he came up limp. Not even limp. He had to be helped off the field, Carey.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Nah. They said they don't think anything's wrong with his knee, though.
Oh, yeah?
Seem to be walking around fine.
And why'd they put him on the IL?
Oh, well. They give him a couple of days to recover.
Okay.
He'll be all right. They got 3 catchers, Anthony.
No, they don't.
Okay.
Well, now they have 2 again.
Okay.
Because they called up Yoel Poso from AAA. So there you go. All righty. Time to play a lineup game. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You don't seem it.
I'm born ready.
Okay.
Show me, you want to do this?
Wow, holy smokes.
Yeah, we know what this is. Show us Lars Newbar.
International superstar.
Watch out, don't run into any walls or anything.
I don't know. All right, Anthony, what do you say here? This is Wilson?
Herrera was in the spot the first game, and then he got hurt. And then they came back last night with
Wilson
Contreras.
And it's been Wilson for the majority of the game.
Let's go Wilson.
All right. You got it.
Show us Wilson Contreras.
You don't know how to play first base. It's not that hard. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
Hey, anything worth doing is.
All right.
That's funny.
This is Donnie?
Donnybrook?
Why not?
Yeah.
Show us Brendan Donovan.
Look at that guy. Vibrant, handsome, hair.
All right, Anthony. We're on the roll here.
All right, this got to be Nolan.
Got to be.
Nolan. Show us Nolan Arenado.
A lot of people think you get in your mid-30s and your career's over, but like I always say, until they stop scouting, I ain't going to stop playing.
All right. So
last night, this was Burleson.
I think it's Burley again. Is it an RHP or LHP that they're facing?
RHP.
Okay, well, I would go Burley here again.
So, okay. Yeah.
You don't like it?
No, I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to think it through. Because you got a DH that you got to think about. But Gorman.
Well, your DH would be
Gorman's out, so you need a DH. So
be Burley.
It's either Burley or Contreras. Yeah, I like it. Go ahead.
Show us Alec Burleson.
I thought I told you I'm a star. You're already acting like you're a star, and we haven't even opened yet.
Okay.
Not bad. I think this is Jordan Walker.
It was last night.
They run it back.
Show us Jordan Walker.
Die for every ball. It's boring otherwise, plus it looks harder. The most important play in right field is what I like to call the janitor throw. Guaranteed out every time. I call it the janitor throw because it cleans up that are trying to take an extra base on you.
All right, last night, Victor Scotti was replaced by Michael Ciani. We need a center fielder, shortstop, and the catcher.
I would say it's either Pages or Scott here. I think Lars is playing left field, Walker's playing right field.
Right.
So it's either Pages or Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Pages actually was the first game he had a couple of big hits.
He's actually, he's swung a good bat thus far. Last night, though, he's 0 for Gopher.
He didn't throw. He is allowing base runners like his brethren.
Okay. We're just talking about the lineup right now.
I'm just trying to be honest.
You don't need to jump into other aspects.
He did throw a guy out
baseball.
After the ball bounced to him, and he was able to recover. But ain't nothing. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You want Pages or you want Scott?
Scott.
You do it.
Show us Victor Scott.
No.
Go for
perfect game going. Show us Pedro Pages.
Sorry, guys.
Well, who the hell? Who is catching?
I mean, it could be the new guy because Pages basically caught two games yesterday because Herrera got hurt early.
So the new guy is probably batting last. What's his name?
Poso.
Batting last. You think Mason Wynn here? Maybe Mason Wynn is moving up a little bit. He's been doing better.
All right.
He started out slow. Show us Mason Wynn.
Not great.
Should we go Poso?
Here? Sure. I mean, who the hell?
Who else is it going to be?
I don't know.
All right. Show us Poso.
Poso.
Where did this come from?
In an investigation, details matter.
Yes.
Okay.
I like that. I like the Reacher reference there. All right. So Poso's getting the nod.
All right.
All right. Now it's Scott.
And then Wayne.
Yeah. Show us Victor Scott.
That's just stupid.
Siani.
Show us Mason Wynn.
I think it's probably Siani. It's not
I would
Wynn.
say it's Wynn and then Siani.
All right. Go for it.
I think. Show us Mason Wynn.
I'm sorry. It's wrong.
Show us Michael Siani.
See, with Michael, he had to win. That's what made him great. He did that little shrug, and I took that personally.
What a catch.
Now it's Mason.
Now go for it.
Show us Mason Wynn.
Duncan! Bring me that O!
So we struggled 7-8. Otherwise, we're perfect.
Yeah.
You know, again, except for those other two, except for the misses,
Correct.
we were perfect.
We were.
Yeah, which is the opposite of being perfect. Marsh, run it.
All
run
right.
it.
Leading off in center field, Lars Newport. Batting second, first baseman Wilson Contreras. Batting third, your second baseman is Brendan Donovan. Your cleanup hitter playing third base, Nolan Arenado. Batting fifth, the DH, Alec Burleson. Batting sixth in right field, Jordan Walker. Catching and batting seventh is Yoel Poso. Batting eighth in center field, Michael Siani. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Mason Wynn.
Back. Stay fair! Stay fair!
Go foul!
I don't believe what I just saw!
Home run.
Marsh, you're still leading, right?
Yes, 3 points for me. Anthony, you are behind me with 1, and CD and Jamie are still looking for their first point. We really haven't played this game that much because of the start times and, the days off and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, do not be discouraged by the score. It is early in the season. So, my first pick is going to be Lars Newport.
I'm sorry. Do you do the Newt and then I do the bar?
Well, I don't know. We need to work on that. Well, we got to have a bunch of time to figure it out.
No, you know what? Let's do it again. Take two. I'll do the Newt. You do the bar.
Well, I like when we do it all together, though, because we're in harmony.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know what? Then forget it, and we'll pick it up again tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Give me Jordan Walker, please.
Wow.
Jordan Walker. To hit a laser beam.
Yeah, give me Brendan Donovan.
Danny.
And did Jamie give us his?
Yeah, he went with Wilson Contreras.
Okay, Wilson Contreras. That's been his guy. There you have it. The Cardinals tonight licking their wounds a little bit following that 3-game sweep in Boston. Not great. Do you guys remember when they beat the Twins?
No.
That was a while ago.
Okay,
I don't remember.
Me either.
That was a while ago, yeah.
Matthew Liberatore will draw another start tonight. So it'll be Libby on the mound.
Nice.
Versus some guy I've never heard of. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN.
Carve him up.
What? Oh, yeah, he probably will.
Yeah.
By the way, we were talking about Miles Mikolas the last segment. And I don't know if you guys noticed, he wasn't even in the strike zone. Wasn't even in the strike zone. And they were ripping shots off the Green Monster.
It's bad, man.
Like if you're over the heart of the plate, your stuff isn't working, all right. Weren't even in the strike zone, and they were ripping you.
Sounds like it's not his fault, Anthony. And when he was in the strike zone, they called it a ball. And then he gave up a bunch of runs.
Well, in fairness to the umpire, he's like, what the hell is that? It's a strike.
We got a text from the 314. It says, not to nitpick, but technically, if you all say it at the same time, it's in unison, not in harmony.
Oh.
Well, I don't know, okay? We're not that smart. Jeez. Get off our back!
He's trying to help.
Get off my bumper!
we just learned something, Marsh. All right?
No, you're right. I thought
something.
harmony is when we all sound good.
Harmony.
Harmony.
I think you got to, go up,
levels.
right?
It's levels.
New bar.
Yeah. Like, what is it, Carey? You're a singer.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Baritone,
soprano, tenor.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's when you're in perfect harmony, you know?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Sure. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. What's trending is next. So tonight is one of the best nights to play Underdog Fantasy, which is available in our state. And the thing about Underdog Fantasy is that you can actually mix and match your sport. So let's start here. All you have to do is choose some of the players that you think are going to go higher or lower on their stats. So if it's baseball, you could choose strikeouts, hits, home runs. You get the idea. Basketball, points, assists, rebounds. Hockey, same idea. Points, goals, things like that. Underdog Fantasy allows you to combine those players, though. So if you want to choose one player from the Blues game tonight, another player from the Cardinals-Pirates game, and then choose a player that you think is going to go higher or lower on their stats when it comes to the NCAA championship game, you can do so at Underdog Fantasy. It's the best spot to play. You can play for as little as $1, win up to $1,000 just with your baseball knowledge or your basketball knowledge or your hockey knowledge. You get the idea. Download the Underdog app. Sign up now using my promo code Anthony to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus credits when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up using my promo code. It's just my first name, Anthony, and you can claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash credits instantly upon your first deposit at Underdog Fantasy. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues defeat the Colorado Avalanche on Saturday to set a franchise record 12 straight wins. They'll take on the Winnipeg Jets tonight, looking for that 13th win in a row. Pregame starts at 5:30. Puck drop is at 6:30. We'll talk with our Blues insider from The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford, at 4:30, so stay tuned for that. Also, the Cardinals were swept in Boston this past weekend. They'll go up against the Pirates, looking to get back in the win column. First pitch is at 5:40. The Battlehawks took down the San Antonio Brahmas yesterday, 26-9. Also yesterday, history was made, and we'll talk about it next right here in the Fast Lane with What's Trending. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Topics in the sports world.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN alongside Anthony Stalter and grunting Carey Davis.
Sure coughs a lot.
I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, the Great Eight passed the Great One yesterday as the Washington Capitals took on the New York Islanders. Here is Alex Ovechkin breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record in the NHL, courtesy of Monumental Sports Network.
Send in Wilson on the flank. Cross ice. Ovechkin fires. Score! The chasing days are done. Alex Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer in the history of the NHL.
Everybody are up on their feet as they should be, cheering on Alex Ovechkin. The Islanders are leaving the bench to come and congratulate him. There is going to be a ceremony that's going to be unbelievable here. He has done something that no one thought would ever be broken. It was considered unattainable, unreachable. And the eighth wonder of the world has just done it. He has passed Wayne Gretzky.
Did you guys ever think that this would be possible?
No. I mean, obviously recently.
Well, yes.
Within the last year and a half, yes. But no, not when, I mean, not 10 years ago, right. Certainly. When was Ovi drafted? 2005.
I believe he was drafted. Could be wrong on this. I believe he was drafted, or I'm sorry, the Washington Capitals won the draft lottery on April 6th of that year. And he ends up breaking the record on this, April 6th.
April 6th. That's
pretty cool.
That's a cool story. I also love that he scored from the signature Ovechkin spot. So that area located top left of the face-off circle, just above the center hash marks there. I mean, I don't know if you can put into words like the legacy. I mean, his consistency. The combination, especially on that shot, his signature shot, the combination of the power and the precision, he solidified himself as the greatest goal scorer in NHL history. The greatest goal scorer. Maybe not the greatest player, the greatest goal scorer in NHL history. It's him now. He scored 610 other goals. The 285 goals from a signature spot will define that legacy for him. But I mean, it's just remarkable what he's been able to do. He's been in pursuit of that record, and that had been in doubt when he broke his leg in November because he'd been sitting 27 goals behind Gretzky. Despite the setback, he returned, scored 6 goals in his last 5 games, surpassing the record with 5 games to spare. The dude is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
He really is. And I think the cool part is Wayne Gretzky being there in attendance, being able to see it in person. Like the entire game stopped, and as you said, the Islanders come and congratulate. Like it's a really cool moment. I didn't get to see that one live. I got to see when he tied Wayne Gretzky when they were playing the Blackhawks a couple of nights ago.
Yeah,
and that was the same thing. After the game, everyone came up and shook his hand. All the Blackhawk players, that number is a number that, as you said, no one ever expected to be broken, and to be the greatest goal scorer in NHL history ahead of Wayne Gretzky. I mean, that speaks volumes to the type of career that you have had. It's just there's luck involved in not being facing one of those long-term injuries that sit you down for a year and a half or 2 years, or not being able to sustain the level of play for 20 years is that's hard, man. And he's been able to do that. It's pretty cool.
I remember as a kid, hearing about these two upcoming what would be or could be superstars in the NHL, and Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin, and there was a ton of hype surrounding them, and I believe that they have exceeded that hype. These two, they ushered in a new wave of the game.
Yeah.
And now there's other players that are also doing that as these guys are on the back half of their career. But I mean, what else could you ask for out of these two guys coming into the league? They've been unbelievable. Ovechkin breaks the record, has a cup for himself. Crosby, has 3 cups, has a gold medal, just won the 4 Nations. Also, up there in the leaderboard for points and goals and all that good stuff. Like, these two have been great ushering this new era of hockey. They've been unbelievable. It's so fun to watch.
I feel like most sports have that.
Yeah.
But hockey, for some reason, feels like it really passes the baton pretty well. But it's always been Gretzky.
Yeah.
It's always been the great one. And now that this record has fallen, I don't know. He's still the great one. He's still the best hockey player. But it's remarkable to see what Ovechkin has accomplished.
Well, it almost reminds me of Babe Ruth, right? Like, Babe Ruth is an icon in baseball, right? He's basically Wayne Gretzky of Major League Baseball, but his record was broke. Like, both of them were.
Right.
And we still talk about Babe Ruth in that sense. Same thing with Gretzky. I mean, Gretzky could have never scored a goal in his entire career and would still, have the most points in NHL history because of how many assists that he has.
Yeah.
Like, he's still the GOAT of the NHL. And there's a ton of other great players also that could, be thrown in that category. I'd say that Michael Jordan, the GOAT of the NBA. Yeah. Even though there's LeBron, people still view Michael as the best to ever do it.
That's because he is.
Agreed.
Yeah.
In the NFL, who is that guy? Is it Tom Brady?
Yes.
Jerry Rice.
It's Tom Brady.
Yeah, okay. Or is it Joe Montana?
Joe Montana.
Not Joe Burrow. Definitely not Joe Flacco.
No. I don't. Tom Brady surpassed Montana for the GOAT. Now it's just a matter of whether or not Patrick Mahomes will do so.
Right. Do you guys think that there will be any other big-time record in sports that will be broken?
Well, let me ask you this. What is the next one?
To me, that there's 2 big ones, and we just saw one. The other, which I think is the biggest in all of sports, is just my opinion, which is the home run record. And Barry Bonds has that.
Never.
I don't think we'll see it.
Never?
No. And you know why.
I don't know why. Why, Anthony? Because it's hard to hit balls that far, that many times.
It was a different era that Bonds played
But they got the torpedo bat now. Huh?
If they had the torpedo bat and other...
The juiced baseballs.
Innovative
the juiced
things.
Baseballs.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Bonds played in a different era. And I don't think that record will fall.
Wow. What about Aaron Judge? He's at 321 home runs right now.
He's 30, isn't he?
You talking about career?
Career.
Because I thought you were talking about.
I think he's talking career.
Oh, you're talking about you thought I was talking about single season.
Yeah.
Well, you could lump both of those. Yeah.
Career, maybe.
No,
I doubt it, but maybe.
I think career is further than.
But you're not going to see anybody at 74 home runs. What's the record, 73?
73, I think.
I think so.
But didn't Judge hit 60 last year or the year before? How many did he
had 62 or 63?
I think
that tied the record, the American League record.
That's closer than the overall home run record will ever be. I think that number, the home run record, total home runs is secure. The 72, 73 home runs in a season? What does Aaron Judge have right now? How many does he have today?
4.
And how many games? Like 8?
Sure. I actually have no idea how many he has.
You just make that
I thought he had 4 home runs in that first game.
I just altered you. He has, hold on. Wait for it. Still holding. He has 6 home runs. 6 is the
in
number.
10 games.
Good start.
Anthony?
It is a good start.
That's a dang on good
stay
start.
Healthy?
Huh?
Is he going to stay healthy?
Why wouldn't he? What do you think you need to stay healthy these days?
I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think keep asking me, but I don't think he's going to do it.
I don't think he'll ever get to the 755. Is that the number? 62, whatever that number is.
Career home runs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's be honest. Nothing's going to happen.
What about football? Is there like a record in football?
No.
Like, I feel like no one cares about
Nobody
those.
cares about that. Everybody cares. Nobody romanticizes about statistics in the NFL like they do with baseball.
Yeah.
It's always been that way. The NFL is like, the stats matter,
Super
but
Bowls.
they are forgotten. Yes, it's Super Bowls. And they're forgotten quickly.
I feel like it's the same in the NBA.
It's all about wins.
Same thing with the NBA. It's all about how many finals wins do you have.
I could see that, yeah. Like, this is the biggest NHL one. But baseball is like, we romanticize about the freaking stats. Mm-hmm. And football, we're just like, give me them dubs. Are you a winner or not, Carey? And you are. You got a Super Bowl championship.
Thank you, sir.
Here's another good one from the 573, the hitting streak.
That is a good one. We play the beat the streak game here in the fast lane.
That bleeps hard.
I mean, we got, 13? That's the highest? 12? Something like that?
Imagine actually going up there and hitting.
Don't kidding. We're just trying to pick somebody to get a hit, and we've got a lot of choices.
Who has the longest hit streak for the Cardinals, Anthony?
That would be Rogers Hornsby.
We learned that this weekend.
33.
Some believe it's Skip Schumacher, but it is not.
Thought it was.
It's Rogers Hornsby. Yeah,
Ripken's consecutive game streak probably would never be beaten.
Yeah, the Iron Man
That's
streak.
probably right. Yeah, never.
Yeah.
Maybe Scout will do it.
Scout might do it, yep. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. What a Final Four. We watched the Final Four together at trivia night that we're at. Some of the references that Marsh just made are from a trivia night, a very difficult trivia night that we had over the weekend. But we were all there watching the Final Four. One thing happened and that made the entire room go, whoa, 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 whoa. And it wasn't actually Duke's collapse. But we'll get into Duke's collapse and give you our title game predictions for Houston and Florida tonight on 101 ESPN. Mentality is the spot where if you want to go and you want to feel a lot younger and do things that you did 10, 20 years ago, Mentality is your spot. It's a great, they got 2 locations, one in South County, one in Chesterfield, and the people there are excellent. So you go in, all you do is tell them they've got, somebody that'll sit down with you and ask you questions, basic questions about how you're feeling. If you're experiencing fatigue and low energy, if you're struggling in the gym or you're not even going to the gym because you got mood swings, you're irritable, you don't have that drive, these are all symptoms of low testosterone. Mentality will put you on their program. They got personal plans that, unlike other clinics that offer one-size-fits-all treatments, Mentality tailors your plan based on detailed lab work and ongoing consultation. So when it comes to my program at Mentality, it's different than what Jamie's is or Brad Thompson's is. But Mentality, it gets you feeling great again. And my energy levels are excellent throughout throughout the course of the day. It's no magic pill. Of course, I got to get some proper rest and things like that. But when I do, I feel fantastic. And the gym, you see the results a lot quicker. Mentality's great. So if you feel like you lost your edge, if your energy and your focus drive isn't what it used to be, get it back to where it needs to be. Go to Mentality, 2 different locations. Like I was telling you before, visit lowtusa.com. But tell them that Anthony and Jamie sent you in. It's Mentality. So Marsh, Carey, me, Tim McKernan, we're all at a trivia night on Saturday in which we, quote-unquote, played the Rizzuto show.
Did we play them?
Not really.
Or did we play, I don't know, the money? Money plays? That's what the Cardinals say.
Well, I don't know if they say that, but they definitely say, they at least show that. As one of the listeners texted in, we lost to them because Riz brought his wallet, and he's absolutely right. The mulligan game was insane from them. We didn't use one mulligan; they used 20. So they beat us.
How many did they bought 20? Was
They
there a
bought
limit?
40.
They bought 40.
And apparently could only use 20.
Hey, you shouldn't be able to use 20. It's 10 rounds, 10 questions.
Yeah.
You should be able to use 1 per round.
Mm-hmm.
So 10.
That's how normally that's how trivia goes. Anyways, so we were all watching. They set up TVs for us. It was great. Blues game was on. The 2 Final Four games were on, so we had a chance to watch Florida, who were struggling a little bit. They came back and they beat Auburn in a really competitive game that came down. I don't know if it came down on the wire, but it was close. But the Houston-Duke game was wild. So we were all watching. We're like, Duke's got this one in the bag. And, of course, in the final 2 minutes, things started to change. Well, I don't know if was it under a minute, Marsh? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think it
was under a minute.
Under a minute.
Yeah.
It was like a out of bounds play or something. Ball got out of bounds.
Oh, you're talking about what you're about to say?
Yeah. And
Dude, I think there's like 20 seconds left.
That may be the case. And the trivia was over. So whoever was controlling the TVs shut off the TVs, like cut the stream. And the entire room goes, whoa! But fortunately, they got it back in time. But what a remarkable comeback by Houston. CD, what were your thoughts on Duke? Because that's to say the least, that's a devastating loss.
Yeah, they were unable to inbound the ball late in that game. I think it was a 7-0 run by Houston.
9-0.
15 seconds. It was like a 7-0 run in 15 seconds, and then they got the 9-0 run. It was tough. Duke didn't play well enough down the stretch. I mean, if you can't inbound the ball, if you're unable to hit your free throws, Cooper Flagg got a foul called on him at the free throw line that some of the Duke fans I'm sure are still upset about. But Duke just didn't finish the game, and Houston played with grit, determination for the full 40 minutes, and they were able to finish it, and Duke was unable to.
Yeah, John Shire, the Duke head coach, he was visibly emotional after the game. He was reflecting on what he could have done differently. He highlighted some things on some of the coaching missteps that he had, particularly his failure to adjust defensively late in that game. Final minutes, he was talking about the poor decision making on inbounding and offense plays that led to turnovers and missed opportunities. But that's what Houston does. Houston forces turnovers, limits your possessions, and then they don't turn the ball over themselves, which is going to be a key factor, I think, tonight when Houston takes on Florida. But that really is what it came down to. But I think when you look at this Duke team, to me, they had, up until Saturday night, they had the most impressive tournament of any team, the way they were running through teams. So this loss, I think, is on the same level as like the 98-99 team, which was considered Duke's best team. They lost in the Final Four. The 03-04 Duke, they lost in the Final Four to UConn. The 07-08 team that lost to Memphis, where a missed free throw late in the game made mistakes, and they cost them the national title. I think this loss is on that same level for Duke. But credit Houston. Houston had their typical defensive, suffocation toward the end of that thing, and I think that Kelvin Sampson continues to be one of the more underrated coaches. I know that he gets under a lot of people's skin, but
I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
Yeah. There was a video, and maybe it had been out before, but there was a video of Houston's practice. Like just a film of their practice and how they have a drill where they go after loose balls. Like they are getting after, like it's on the ground, diving.
And he had talked about that.
Like that mentality, like that's grit. A lot of basketball players, honestly, they're soft. Like I'm not joking when I say this. Like they're soft people. They're not very tough, right? They're you bump into them, they kind of break down.
Yeah.
But this Houston team, it feels like Kelvin Sampson has built a team that is tough, is rugged, is going to be up on you defensively, and not if you can't. The most critical thing, if you can't inbound a pass to end the game, you're up. Duke was up by 9 points at one point, 3 minutes left in the game, and it was 64-55, and they scored 3 more points in the final 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Like that is that's if you're John Shire, you don't like I as a coach, man, there are some things that stick with you for the rest of your life.
This is gonna be one of them.
That's gonna be one of them. He can win multiple national championships, but he's going to remember them unable to inbound the ball. And then there was a point where I forget which player it was. after Duke missed a free throw, Houston got the rebound. They let about 5 or 6 seconds run off the clock. It's like their brains froze and didn't realize, hey, we're down. We need to foul, and they just wouldn't foul.
Yeah.
Or not the miss. It was the missed Cooper flag jumper with like 8 seconds. Like they just took too long to foul, and so some of those things, man, it's a difficult thing, but. You know, they'll rebound, but Houston played well. They played great. And Florida did. I thought Auburn was going to win that game. We were at halftime, Auburn was up.
Yep.
And I was saying, yep, that's what I picked. You were talking crap. You said they were a second half team talking about Florida.
Yeah, you were giving me crap.
I was. That's what I do.
You said, yeah, that's right. I picked Auburn.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, you were like, yeah, that's right. We were all on Florida. I'm like, no, Carey, no, we're not.
I didn't say that.
No, you didn't. Walter Clayton Jr.'s performance just remarkable. And he's now in rare company. I mean, he's got consecutive 30-plus point games in the Elite Eight and the Final Four, and that joined Larry Bird. I mean, only Larry Bird has done that. So Clayton's 34-point performance makes him only the 15th player in modern NCAA tournament history to score over 30 in a Final Four game. He joined notable players like Danny Manning, Glenn Rice, Danny Ferry, Sean Elliott, Carmelo Anthony, all of whom have had similar standout Final Four performances. So that leads us to predictions tonight. If you look at just the statistics, the offense and defensive efficiencies and all that stuff, a lot of this game tonight is evenly matched. If Houston wins, I think it's going to be because they force turnovers, and Florida doesn't. And when you force turnovers, obviously you're limiting possessions. But I got Florida. I came into the tournament with Florida. No reason to back off them now. And it's as simple for me as Florida's got Walter Clayton Jr. and Houston doesn't. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be like 65-61, 65-62, something like that. A little low scoring. But give me Florida.
The money is on Houston. I think a lot of people are picking Houston to win just based on I think they just beat the best team in the tournament in Duke a couple of days ago. I think that was
your disrespect for Florida is noteworthy.
Well, no, it's not disrespect, Anthony. It's respect for Houston. And Kelvin Sampson even said it. You know, they're a good team. They've been a good team all year long.
Yes.
Put some damn respect on their name. I got Houston.
Okay.
I'm going with Florida. Typically, I feel like when we get a team that defeats the team that we wanted to win in terms of like the matchup, like the best matchup to me would have been Florida and Duke. You're like, all right, well, what is this other team going to do? They just beat Duke. How are they going to fare the title game? And they don't end up really putting up I don't want to say great performance, but it's not the type of game that we would hope for. I think Florida wins by more than 6 points. So I'm going with Florida. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe Houston wins and they're champions. And
don't back down.
They've had a hard road here.
They have.
They've had a super hard, one of the most difficult roads to a national title game. So they are battle tested. But I'm with you, Anthony. I'm sticking with Florida. I picked them on Friday, and I think the Gators win tonight.
Go Gator.
Go
in
Gator.
The snake pit. Good luck to your boys.
Do the
chomp.
Gator chomp.
There you go. All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We've got the Gauntlet, and we have a new Gauntlet contestant joining us next here on 101 ESPN. If you're remodeling your kitchen, choose your designer wisely. Don't have remodeling regret when you collaborate with the wrong designers. Make sure you go with Mosby Building Arts. They've got fantastic designers with good taste who work with you to create a space that fits your style and your needs. It's not about what Mosby wants. It's about what you want. Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. I love working with Mosby. We've done so in our house. But when it comes to remodeling, I remember talking to a couple people at a Mosby event a couple months back, and there was one person that I talked to that said, I love Mosby. They give me all kinds of different options, and I can go through it, and I can choose the best ones. I collaborate with Mosby. It's fantastic. We did a bathroom, and it worked out well. And then there was somebody else, a different client that used Mosby, and they came up and I was talking about their experience, and they're like, yeah, that was great. I don't like to be overwhelmed by different options. I said, give me 2 or 3 options, and that's it. That's all I want to look at, and I'll choose that one. Mosby works for you. They figure it out, but their designers are fantastic. They've got a trustworthy construction team. They know how to do a job well. They're friendly, dedicated people that work with you from start to finish. The pricing is always on point. They got honest pricing, so they're not one of these companies that come in and out, and next thing you know, you're 6 months in, and it's a slow project, and they're adding cost constantly. Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. See for yourself. Give them a call, 314-909-1800. Again, 314-909-1800. You can also visit callmosby.com to schedule your free consultation today and see the difference for yourself. It's Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
Time for the Gauntlet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 407. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Tony. What's up, Tony?
How's it going?
I heard you were at the trivia night on Saturday night, and you guys did quite well.
We ended up getting third. I don't know how that first place team got 97 out of 100, right? But
what? Yeah, they were.
Who in the heck did that?
They were. Maybe they could use 40 mulligans. I don't know.
Who was first? What?
Yeah, some team had 97 points.
There's no way, man.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Second place team was 77, and we were 75.
Oh, that makes way more sense.
Who the heck got 97? That's crazy.
Randy probably.
No,
Randy emceed the event. He probably played himself. And all right, Tony, would you like to take on Marsh, Carey, or me?
We'll pick on you, Anthony.
Oh, I kind of figured that, Tony. I kind of feel like
Tony.
Tony and Tony.
All right, Tony.
Yep.
Good luck to you, man.
Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, Tony. Anthony is heading out to the cone of silence. You know how this goes. Tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Spin the wheel, Marsh.
All right, if you answer the question correctly without the options, you get 2 points. If you answer it correctly with the options, you get 1 point. And if you answer incorrectly, you get 0 points. Tony, how do you feel about football?
It's better than random, so we'll take it.
All right, well, we got football. So Marcia is getting me the questions, and we will be ready to go now. Question number 1. Who led the NFL in receiving yards last season?
Take the options.
Is it Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamar Chase, or Brock Bowers?
We'll go Amon-Ra. Final answer.
Question number 2. What university did Des Bryant play college football at?
Oklahoma? I think it's Oklahoma, but I'll take the options.
Options are Oklahoma State, Iowa State, or Ohio State.
We'll go Oklahoma State. Final answer.
Question number 3. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and which other team were the only ones to beat the Detroit Lions in the regular season last year?
He's going to know this one. I'll take the options.
Is it the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Kansas City Chiefs, or the Buffalo Bills?
Well, we'll go to the Bills. Final answer.
And question number 4. Which NFL team finished the regular season last year with the most points given up in the season?
Most points given up. I'll take the options again.
Options are the Dallas Cowboys, the Carolina Panthers, or the Tennessee Titans.
It's the Panthers. Final answer.
All right, we'll get Anthony back in here. Can you wave him in, Marcia? Is he looking?
He's looking.
Tony, how you feel?
I'm just hoping I got one right after all those tough questions this weekend. So.
Oh my goodness, those questions were brutal. That might have been the hardest trivia contest I've ever been a part of.
The crazy thing is that the first round was
a breeze.
First round was easy.
It was a breeze,
man.
And then the first question was like a paragraph long.
Oh my
goodness. we knew we were in trouble in that second round.
Yeah. The acquisition of I didn't even
who was the backup to the backup?
Right.
One-eyed Lenny
in 1937.
Oh my goodness, Anthony, how was the cone of silence?
Actually went to the bathroom and then came back.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. But it seemed silent. Somebody was in there. I don't know if it was T-Bone. I don't think Mike Ryder is with us today.
He's not here.
At the station.
Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Well, Anthony, your category is football.
All right.
Marcy, tell him.
Pack a lunch.
All right, here we go. Who led the NFL in receiving yards last season?
In receiving yards. Marshy's boy Justin Jefferson had to be up there. Jamar Chase. Who else would have big performances? Amon-Ra St. Brown probably was up there. I don't think it was Justin Jefferson. I think it was Jamar Chase. I'm going to go Jamar Chase, final answer.
Question number 2. What university did Des Bryant play college football at?
Oklahoma State. Final answer.
Question number 3. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and which other team were the only teams to beat the Detroit Lions in the regular season last year?
Ooh. In the regular season.
Yep.
The Commanders beat them in the playoffs. So you said Tampa and another team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wasn't the Vikings. They lost. They were...
Thanks for that one,
sorry,
Anthony.
they were 0 for
Appreciate
Gopher.
it.
But you know what? The Bears and the Packers were also 0 for Gopher. All right,
You trying to make them feel better?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. All right, I'm going through these divisions now. Commanders, Giants. Was it an AFC team? Patriots, Jets, Bill. Ooh. Didn't the Bills... I think the Bills routed them 1 week after losing to the Rams. Because I think the Bills were in LA and the Rams beat them, and then I think the very next week the Bills went to Detroit and beat them, and it was the second time they beat the Lions in it. I'm going to go with the Bills. Final answer.
Question number 4. Which NFL team finished the regular season last year with the most points given up in the season?
Who gave up a lot of points, huh, Marsh? Ton of points. I imagine the Raiders are in there. The Titans are probably in there. Bears, maybe. Giants. No, I don't think the Giants gave up a ton. I'm trying to think of really bad teams that are picking high in the draft. Cleveland. But Cleveland had an okay defense at times. Actually, no, I don't think they did. What about the Bengals, though? I'm gonna go with the Bengals. They had one of the worst defenses. Lou Anarumo was fired. I'll go with the Bengals. Final answer.
All right. Let's start there. Which NFL team finished the regular season last year with the most points given up in the season? Tony, you said Panthers with the options. Anthony, you said Bengals without the options. Would you like to know the options?
Yes.
Dallas Cowboys, Carolina Panthers, Tennessee Titans. Marcy, the correct answer is?
It's the Carolina Panthers.
Tony is up 1-0.
Good job, Tony.
Who led the NFL in receiving yards last season? Tony, you took Amon-Ra St. Brown. Anthony, you took Jamar Chase. Correct answer is?
It is Jamar Chase.
Anthony is up 2-0. He did not take the options.
2-1.
2-1, excuse me. I was looking at your score before. I had a 0 there. My apologies.
That's all right. I just want to make sure I got the math right.
What university did Des Bryant play college football at? Tony, you said Oklahoma State. Anthony, you said Oklahoma State. The correct answer is?
It is Oklahoma State.
But Anthony did not need the options. You have a 4-2 lead.
97-4 is the score.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers and which other team were the only teams to beat the Detroit Lions in the regular season? Tony, you said the Bills. Anthony, you said the Bills. The correct answer is?
It is the Buffalo Bills.
Anthony did not need the options. He got you today 6-3. Tony.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Not today.
Good job, Tony. You ran into Anthony's wheelhouse.
Yeah,
Football.
I figured that was going to happen whenever we got that category.
Yeah, it happens.
Tony, appreciate you listening. I wish you said hello at the trivia night. Nice job there, though, because you guys, your table was much better than us. I'll tell you that.
What was our final score?
Yeah, thank you.
Just take care. See ya.
Good job, Tony.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for playing.
What was our final score?
I don't know. I didn't stick around.
I think we were in the 50s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I read somewhere on one of these chats I don't know if it was in the Snake Pit or on the text line, that the Riz Show actually did get to use all 40 of theirs.
Oh, really?
They just allowed it. You know? They just allowed it. Just happened.
That's hilarious. All right. Well, there you have it. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. We are going to talk to Jeremy Rutherford at the bottom of the hour, so we'll get more thoughts on the Blues earning a franchise record 12th consecutive win over the weekend. So I'll talk to JR. But the Blues weren't the only impressive St. Louis team over the weekend. And no, we're not talking about your Cardinals. You already know that. We'll get into the Battlehawks next on 101 ESPN.
telling you guys, if we stay together and we do as a team, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit, man. All right, our goal is there. Our goal is there. We got a couple of them. You know what they are. All right, championship game number 2 is in the books, right? Hey, congratulations to you. I'm proud of you guys. Let's celebrate!
Head coach Anthony Becht from the Battlehawks. They cruised last night over the San Antonio Brahmas 26-9 in their home opener at the Dome, at the Battle Dome at America's Center. And the Battlehawks improved to 2-0 on the season. Brahmas dropped to 0-2. Jacob Sailors, another huge game for him last night. The Battlehawks running back set a team record with 3 rushing touchdowns. That tied a UFL record. He rushed for 46 yards on 11 attempts. The Battlehawks led 17-3 at halftime. You had Sailors' 20-yard touchdown rush and a 5-yard rush for a 2-point conversion. Gary Jennings Jr. caught a 58-yard pass from Manny Wilkins, and Sailors added another 1-yard touchdown rush right before halftime. I don't know if it's because we've talked to Coach over the last couple of weeks, and he has made it a point to say we are going for a championship. But it just seems like this team is on a mission right now. And I know that so far the 2 teams that they've played are 0-4 combined. Mm-hmm. Houston lost again, and San Antonio again has dropped to 0-2. But this Brahmas team, I thought the game was going to be a little bit closer just because Wade Phillips gave the Battlehawks trouble a year ago.
Yeah.
But different offensive coordinator, different quarterback, and it led to much better results for the Battlehawks. Defensively, they also recorded 4 sacks, tying the franchise single game record. They look locked in right now.
You know, I like what they're doing in terms of running the football. They ran the ball 39 times. And Manny Wilkins, for the second week in a row, completed 75% of his passes. Like, he's not putting the ball in dangerous spots. He's completing the passes. He's taking the throws that are given to him, not turning it over, you know, and they're leaning on their run game. And Manny Wilkins also led the team in rushing. Like, he's that dual-threat quarterback that can do multiple things, and it's allowing you to have success. And they're not giving up big plays on the defensive side. Like, they're not allowing big things to happen. And it's fun. It's good for them. I mean, we talked to Anthony. Anthony's one of my former teammates. I could tell when we spoke to him last week, he was fired up. Mm-hmm. You know, you heard that when we came back to the intro, just saying second championship game. Like, they seem to be treating every game with the level of importance as though it is a championship game, not the regular season. We don't want to turn up or the intensity once we get to the playoffs. No, we're going to treat every single game like it is the championship game, and we want to win every single one of them. And I think that's a great way to go about it, and clearly the guys are buying in.
Mm-hmm. You had brought up something defensively a minute ago when you were talking about just the defense playing well too. Even when the Battlehawks were playing well last year, the last couple of years they've just been gouged on the ground, and they did give up a big run last night, but it was only one. It's not like teams are coming in or they're facing teams and they're holding on for dear life because their run defense isn't good, right? Like, the run fits are terrible. So I've liked what we've seen there out of the last 2 games. This offense too has not missed a beat, and we had talked about it last week, and we talked about it when we were kind of previewing this game a little bit on Friday. We've already seen why Anthony Becht wanted mobile quarterbacks. There was a play yesterday. I think it was like a 2nd and 15. There was a big play, and the Battlehawks got called back for holding, and Wilkins picked it up on one scramble. They are beating teams to the edge. Like last night against San Antonio, they were consistently beating them to the edge. I mean, there was zero discipline for a Wade Phillips defense, which is shocking. But I also think it's because defenses have to key on Wilkins.
Yeah.
A.J. McCarron was excellent for them, but you kind of knew where A.J. was going to be. Now, did he have mobility inside the pocket? Yeah. There was some mobility outside the pocket, but he wasn't necessarily a rushing threat. Now they've got Manny Wilkins or Max Duggan, who had a big run last night to kind of close the game out. You got to key on the quarterback, too, which, as you know, CD, it puts pressure on your linebackers.
Yeah, one thing that I've said this time and time again, one of the toughest things for a defense to prepare for is a quarterback that has mobility, because it essentially gives you, it's 11 on 11 now, right? Instead of 10 on 11. You got that extra guy because now your running back, if need be, can be a lead blocker for your quarterback, and he can carry the football. So it gives the defense it just makes life harder for them. And Manny Wilkins, again, is doing a great job of taking care of the football, throwing it well. Completion percentage is extremely high, and running the ball well. That puts so much stress. Like, there are times when I coached that if I'm playing a mobile quarterback, it's hard to sleep because now – obviously, I got to worry about him in the pocket, but I can't really rush how I want to rush. You can't have the twists and the games up front with your D lineman because if he gets outside, he's going to kill you, and he might throw it downfield with his eyes downfield, or he might run for 15 to 20 yards. And I think that's what you're getting from the Battlehawks. And again, that's part of the reason why they wanted to move on from A.J. McCarron, because this ability is stressful for a defensive coordinator.
Even when you do things right defensively, a quarterback that's got some mobility can still beat you.
Yes.
All right, so the next game, and this is going to be an interesting one. So this is against the DC Defenders. This is Jordan Teamo, excuse me. It's a home game. It's April 13th, which is, what day is that? Sunday. Is that Thursday?
Next Sunday.
It's next Sunday? April 13th?
Yep, the 12th is Saturday.
You're right. You're a genius.
Thank you. Just got a schedule.
Yeah, next Sunday. April 13th. DC Defenders, who are 2-0. So we'll find out a little bit more about this Battlehawks team and whether or not this fast start, even though they've looked great, I wonder if some of it is attributed to the opponent. But we'll see. All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider with The Athletic, will join us next. We'll talk a little Blues hockey with him and get a preview for tonight's game against the Winnipeg Jets. Next with JR. Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, that is your spot. They've got over 800 new and used vehicles all in one location, all out in Herculaneum. Right off I-55 in McNutt. Herculaneum. It's just minutes from South County. Here's the best part about Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. When you go to autocentersnissan.com and you peruse their selection, and you're like, hey, I want to test drive one of these vehicles or maybe a couple, and that's what my wife Kristen and I did when we chose a pre-owned Pathfinder. They actually had the vehicle there. You go to some dealerships and they brag about how they've got this huge inventory, but it's scattered across like 5 lots and like 2 different counties, and sometimes you don't even have it in state. Not at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. Again, they've got over 800 new and used vehicles all in one location. Forget about overpaying. Their vehicles are priced to move. Plus, on new Nissans, you get a complimentary lifetime warranty and a 30-day return promise. Within 30 days, if you don't love the vehicle, bring it back, full refund, no questions asked. Serious peace of mind that you're not going to find anywhere else. And if you got credit issues, no problem. Their credit experts can help any credit situation. They're confident that you could drive away with a brand new Nissan. Tons of glowing reviews. Can't be wrong. Check them out today, or hit them up at autocentersnissan.com to browse that massive selection. It's Auto Centers Nissan. Big inventory, bigger savings, zero nonsense.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues beat the Colorado Avalanche over the weekend by a final score of 5-4. They set the franchise record for most consecutive wins. It is now 12, and they'll look to make it 13 tonight as they take on the Winnipeg Jets. 5:30 pregame for you, 6:30 puck drop. To talk about tonight's game and all of the cool things that have happened on this run, we have Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider from The Athletic. He's going to join us next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Time for the Rutherford Report on 101 ESPN.
Anything you folks want to know about the fascinating world of pro hockey, here we go.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Collier and Thompson phone line where our guy Jeremy Rutherford of The Athletic, our Blues insider, joins us here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. JR reached out to you over the weekend, but happy belated birthday, my friend.
Oh,
hey,
thank you.
happy birthday.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, CD.
April
How you
5th,
doing?
right?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, April 5th, big 5-0. So you guys, I know, are much younger than me. It goes fast. I felt like I was the Cub reporter and the young, fresh face a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden you're 50 and you're the elder statesman. Yeah.
No, I don't believe that for well, okay, maybe, but
yeah, a little bit.
Either way, we're not that much younger than you, JR. But Blues celebrated by giving you a early birthday gift, which is 12 consecutive wins. I asked the guys earlier. I don't know if there's an answer to this necessarily, but just I'd love your thoughts. How remarkable is it that it was this team that set the franchise record for consecutive wins when they couldn't even win? When we wondered if they were going to win 3 in a row at one point in the season.
Absolutely mind-boggling that this season has gone this way. You know, this is more surprising to me than what happened in 2019. I think we've talked about that a little bit. But the fact that this team was the last team in the NHL to win 3 straight. I mean, the other 31 had 3 straight wins before this team even sniffed it. And then to put 12 together, and this is, by the way, the longest streak in the NHL this season. Winnipeg had an 11 game earlier this season. So to be the last to get 3 and the first to get to 12, pretty amazing.
They have been playing outstanding. JR, is there anything, we were talking about this earlier, there feels like even though they're winning, there are things that they can correct. Have you heard anything from Montgomery about what he wants to see them do in terms of playing better, even though they're winning these games and having this win streak?
Yeah, that's the craziest part. The craziest part is to watch them win game number 8 in a row, 9 in a row, 10 in a row, and then talk about not having their A game after the game. It's just, that's insane. And so we've seen some things throughout this winning streak that they could do better. I would say the number one thing on that list, Carey, and Jim Montgomery has talked about it a little bit, is closing games out, particularly the 6-on-5 goals against. I think it's up to 12 now. They had 2 against Colorado the other night. It's just they're playing too loose in those situations. Hey, it's great to kind of sit back and protect the net, but there's too many opposing players getting good looks at the net and getting those shots off, and they're getting past Jordan Binnington and Joel Hofer. So, you know, I think that we can all look at that situation and say, yeah, but they won, and now 12 in a row. But if you continue to let that trend happen, it's going to hurt them in the playoffs. I mean, teams are going to tie up a game late, and you lose a playoff game, and that could swing the series big time. So the 6-on-5 goals against are definitely something they want to clean up.
Jeremy Rutherford joins us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. JR, the Blues have been surprisingly, almost shockingly successful without Colton Parayko. They've got a record of 13-1-1 in his absence. If you were to pinpoint like one aspect that has allowed the Blues to have that 13-1-1 record without one of their best players, what would that be?
Well, first of all, you guys know me. I'm not one to make these dramatic claims, but in all my years of covering the Blues, if you had to pick one stat that stuck out, I think that 13-1-1 without Colton Parayko might be the number one craziest stat I've ever seen. that involve the Blues, and especially in terms of missing one of their players and just going on a run. Like, we've seen players over the years, Keith Tkachuk, TJ Oshie, all these guys miss games, and the teams have had success during that. But to miss your number one defenseman, like at the beginning of the year, I remember we were talking about who could the Blues least afford to lose, and it would be a conversation that included Robert Thomas, Colton Parayko. Well, they went 4-7-1 without Robert Thomas. I mean, could you imagine being without Robert Thomas right now?
No.
But to be without Colton Parayko and go 13 one-on-one is just crazy. And so, Anthony, what are they doing? I answered that question in a mailbag today, and the way I explained it is this: on the back end, it's just veterans making smart plays, and these guys can skate. That always helps. And the goaltending's been great. So, what are they doing to get by without Colton Parayko? I really do think that the experience on the back end, nobody's trying to do anything too fancy. Make the smart play quick, get it out, and quit playing defense, and that's how they've been able to survive.
JR, we heard that Dylan Holloway would be week to week. Do you have any update on his status and what the injury actually is?
No, and don't have a specificity on the injury, but I think that it doesn't sound great. It doesn't, because the day that it happened, or I'm sorry, the day that they announced that hey, he's at the hospital, they said he was going to miss a couple games, and we'll know more in a little bit. So for the time being, it was day to day. But then he got back from the doctor, and they heard week to week, and so that's what they put out. Jim Montgomery said, hey, we wish we would have got better news than we did. So you look at the hit, you see him wincing, you see him kind of hunched over on the bench. They're saying lower body. I don't know, is it a knee, is it a hip? He's in some pain. And so when he's week to week, now you're looking at the potential of missing the start of the playoffs. And I think that's what the big thing is here. So, with the Blues, with the NHL, they go into hypersensitivity mode with the injuries. All I know is from the outside looking in, listening to the words that they are telling us, it doesn't sound too pleasant, and it doesn't sound like it's going to be a quick turnaround for Dylan Holloway.
Jeremy Rutherford joining us right now on the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. That's certainly unfortunate. What has been remarkable, though, besides the 12-game winning streak, is just the culture shift under Jim Montgomery. So really the shift became evident when Montgomery was hired. Why do you think the team has gravitated toward Montgomery? Like, what is it about Monty that you have seen, that you have observed, and just your opinion, that has led these young players to kind of, not only young players, but the veterans to just, be drawn in by him and want him to follow, want them to lead them?
Yeah, I think if you had to narrow it down to one thing, because we've talked a lot about Jim Montgomery ever since he took the job, but, I think this is the best way to explain what the answer is there, Anthony, is that it's the confidence that Jim Montgomery is going to get you there, point you in the right direction, provide you with the things that you need to have success. And even when the Blues were stumbling a bit in January, you talked to Robert Thomas, he felt like they were still going in the right direction. They just weren't getting the results. And I just really do feel that he shows up every single day with a positive attitude. He believes in his guys. He puts them in the spots to succeed. He makes the adjustments. He does so many things that they feel confident that if they do their part, the team is going to have success. And I think that's what they draw from Jim Montgomery the most.
JR, the Blues still have a little bit more work to do in order to solidify their spot in the playoffs. Who would you rather see them play? Would you rather see them against a Central foe or a Pacific foe?
Well, can I tell you in about 7 hours whether you want to play Winnipeg or not?
You have to answer now.
Yeah, because I could tell you Winnipeg right now, and then they get drilled 4-0 tonight. The streak's over, and you don't want to see Winnipeg in the first round. But, I agree with what you guys have said and what Riv has said, is that Winnipeg's got a lot of pressure on them, especially the league, Canada. They all look at them as a team that's done very well the past couple of years, especially this year. But just haven't had that playoff success. And so I think there's going to be a ton of pressure on them. And as Riv mentioned, too, they just don't have a lot of playoff experience or guys that have gotten the job done. So I think it would behoove the Blues to finish where they're at right now in that number one wild card spot, and for Winnipeg to maintain their spot. And, I think that if the Blues play Vegas, that's going to be a tough draw for them. And that's the way it's shaping up right now. But I think that they do have experienced players with that playoff success. So I think that with Winnipeg, you're going up against a team that's really, really good, but I think vulnerable because of the pressure and because of that lack of experience.
JR, before we let you go, so you can go cover the Blues and Jets, give us your kind of biggest story, like the thing you're looking for tonight, if you're going to write something about it tomorrow.
Yeah, I think, how do the Blues just keep focusing on the next game? And they've done a great job of it through 12 games so far with this winning streak. And so I wouldn't expect anything different with tonight's game. It's going to be tough to go on the road and play in what I think is one of the toughest buildings in the National Hockey League. And they're doing it with a guy, if you want a storyline, Jimmy Snuggerud. Like, I knew and felt like he could handle himself. But that pass, guys, the other night to Buchnevich, I mean, those are just plays you don't expect a 20-year-old to come in and make in his third game in the NHL. It's just something. So for him to play top-line minutes, if it looks like the Holloway injury is going to be extended, and maybe we'll know something on that in a bit, Jimmy Snuggerud is going to have to be a guy who not only holds his own but probably produces, and he's done so far. So how does he handle himself going on the road and playing on that top line tonight against Winnipeg?
That's a good one. We'd also be remiss if we didn't ask you about Ovi. So Alex Ovechkin, he surpasses Wayne Gretzky, his goal total. You've covered hockey for a long time. What are your thoughts? What are your sentiments on Ovi?
Yeah, it's amazing. So we've been asking players about, do you want Ovi to break the record? And a lot of them said, yeah. And I asked Blues players, why? Why do you say that? Why are you so excited about Alex Ovechkin breaking this record? And they said, because we want it to be held by a guy that we played against, so we can tell our grandkids, hey, we played against that guy. And so I think, that was a special moment for the league. It was awesome for, Wayne Gretzky to obviously be there. I know that the goal that he scored wasn't necessarily down on the dot where he scored all those power play goals all these years, but it was a great goal, right? Yeah. I mean, pretty dang close, and it gets through. And whether he had it in his mind what he was going to do when he scored that goal, was the dive kind of impromptu, but, the belly flop, so we'll give that a 10 on the judging of the belly flop. So did a good slide there. So I think it's great, Anthony. I think there were a lot of eyes on the sport this weekend. People stopping to watch the highlight and find out if he did it, and a lot of people I talked to were discussing the record. So big thing for the NHL, and now you move on and talk about the next guy who can possibly break that record down the road.
There you go. All right, Jared, we appreciate you. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
It's Jeremy Rutherford at JP Rutherford on Twitter. He covers the Blues for The Athletic and is our good buddy here on 101 ESPN. We do need a new Beat the Streak contestant. So if you want to play Beat the Streak, just text in BTS to 314-399-9646 and do so now, because we are going to play Beat the Streak and Bet the Board next segment. We also are still accepting some final Scott Lee Heating Company mic drops on your thoughts with the Cardinals. You can air it out. Quite frankly, CD and I might just want to sit back and
I just want to listen
to you pile on.
Yep.
So leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop via the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app, and we're going to do that at 5 o'clock. But next, Beat the Streak and Bet the Board here on 101 ESPN.
to hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You're ready to hit.
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Time to play Beat the Streak. This is where we choose one player from either side tonight in the Pirates and Cardinals game to get a hit. And if we get a hit, we build on said streak. And unfortunately for our previous listener, we've got a new listener. But Jack, we welcome you in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here.
So, Marsh, what is our latest streaks?
All right, so I have a streak of 3. Carey has a streak of 1. Anthony, you have a streak of 1.
All right, I'm on the
Jamie is back to 0. And, of course, we have Jack, who is our newest contestant today.
Okay. So, Marsh, Carey, me, Jack, and then Jamie, correct?
That is right.
All right. Marsh?
I'm going to go with Brendan Donovan tonight.
Oh, I bet you are.
And we do have there's an updated lineup as well. I don't know if you want to read that off.
Yes, we do have a new updated lineup. I believe that Thomas Ajacey is now in for Nolan Arenado. Here's your new lineup. Lars Nootbaar's leading off in left. Wilson Contreras is your first baseman. He's hitting second. Brendan Donovan is playing second, hitting third. Alec Burleson is your cleanup hitter. He's the DH tonight. Jordan Walker's in right and hitting fifth. Thomas Ajacey is playing third base for Nolan Arenado, and he's hitting sixth. The new guy, Poso, is the catcher. He was recalled from AAA with the injury to Ivan Herrera, and after Pedro Pajes played basically a doubleheader yesterday, Pozo will be the catcher tonight and hitting seventh. Michael Ciani is in center field, and he's hitting eighth, and Mason Wynn is your shortstop, and he's hitting ninth. So the big news there is that Sajasi is in, Nolan Arenado is out, and I'm looking for an updated reason as to why, and we'll get that for you here in a second.
Need a day.
Need a day? Yeah. He was scratched from tonight's game. Illness and soreness, according to Ali Marmol. That was according to Daniel Guerrero on Twitter. Sajasi again will replacement third. All right, is it Carey's turn?
It sure is, Anthony.
All right, go for it, Carey.
Who did you pick? He picked Brendan Donovan?
He picked Donovan because you wanted him.
Of course, because I had him for my home run. Give me Isaiah Kiner Falefa.
Wow, going Pirate, huh?
Well, he's got a pretty good, couple of outings versus old Matthew
Liberatore. All right, give me Lars Taylor Tatsui Nootbaar to get a hit.
In unison.
That was good. In unison. Yeah, not in harmony.
Not in harmony.
Jack, who would you like to pick?
I'm going to go with Jordan Walker tonight.
Jordan Walker's my home run guy, so hopefully we both won.
I didn't realize that's what we were doing earlier.
Yeah, when you took Donovan to hit a home run. Maybe he will, though. He's got Marsh on the board.
Yeah.
And for Jamie, did Jamie give us a pick?
Oh, he's doubling down with Wilson Contreras.
Sounds good. All right, Jack, if you get a hit tonight, you're going to be back tomorrow, man. Thanks for playing.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
From Beat the Streak to Bet the Board. All right, Marsh, what do you got?
All right, so our Bet the Board standings, I have 4 points on the month. Carey, you and Anthony have 3 points, and Jamie has 2.
Pretty tight so far. All right, Marsh.
All right, give me the Florida Gators money line. And Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, wow, he's doing
over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. And Lars Nootbaar, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Give me Zach Bolduc, 2+ shots on goal.
This is early.
And Robert Thomas to record assist.
It doesn't work.
It did not work for you.
Did not.
That's true.
It has worked for me before.
Worked in the past for Marsh.
All right.
Carey?
Give me Shohei Ohtani, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. Since it's in his parlay, I can still use it.
Carey?
Sounds good to me.
Come on, man.
But it is. That's the rule.
Give me Florida money line. As soon as I heard you do the and, I'm like, yes, now I get Florida. And Jamie gave his earlier, I think, what was it? Nikita Kucherov? Power play point or something? Yes. All right. We're going to do your mic drops next. So we do a mic drop feature after Cardinals games, win or lose, where we call it the coaching from the couch. I can't wait to hear these mic drops following a disastrous series in Boston. Your mic drops next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Where's your coach? The couch.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
5:02, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. So Our coaching from the couch series continues with your Scully Heating Company mic drops. Let's hear from Michael. So these are just mic drops reacting to the Cardinals' misfortune. Carey, can you call it that?
I don't want to call it that.
All right.
A lot of these mic drops, too, are not even like game specific. I think that the entire weekend just brought something out of these listeners, and they're just mad.
Okay. Well, let's hear from Michael.
I think the problem with the Cardinals are they either release or trade a player way before they're supposed to, and they thrive somewhere else. Or we hold on to them too long, and then they're washed, and by the time they leave, Cardinals Nation hates them. I just don't understand. And another thing with Mozeliak is he thinks they're smart getting these guys like Fetty and Mikolas who thrived in Japan and then come over here and have one good year and thinking we should just extend them or trade for them. I just don't understand the mindset. It's very frustrating, and I'm glad Cardinals fans are noticing when you watch a game and there's about 2,000 people there like it was a St. Louis ambush playing in the 90s. Oh. Thanks, guys. You're awesome.
Oh, you are too. Yeah, a little bit of a ricochet there from Michael, but thank you, though. We appreciate the compliments.
The ambush and the steamboats.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get his point, though.
That's harsh.
Harsh but fair. All right, let's get to Vinny next.
Miles Mikolas needs to be let go. Michael McGreevy needs to come up. Even if McGreevy is struggling as bad as Mikolas is, at least you can dream on the potential. Miles Mikolas, he's the worst kind of bad. He's the worst kind of bad right now. McGreevy was great at the end of last season. He was the best pitcher you had in spring training, and apparently he's down there for depth in case one of our starters gets injured. Miles Mikolas is worse than being injured right now. I'm losing my mind.
Worse than being injured. I've never heard that before.
I've never heard that either.
I get what he's saying, though. He's saying that's the worst. That's the worst kind of awful. Like because
it'd be better if he was hurt.
No,
then you don't have to see him.
Initially, here's my interpretation. Initially,
do tell.
He was saying, like when a young pitcher is. When a young pitcher has potential, but he gets shellacked, you're like, okay, look, he's a young pitcher. He's going to have his ups and he's going to have his downs. But with Miles Mikolas, he's making a ton of money, so they're not going to move him, and he's pitching poorly, and he's not going to be here next year. Like, that's the worst kind of bad because there's no upside. You got to watch it, and there's no upside.
It doesn't smell good.
No, it doesn't. I'm just saying that was my interpretation of what Vinny was saying.
Like a pineapple that was left inside of a refrigerator
for weeks.
For weeks.
Oh man, I walked in today. I walked into the office today, and I was met with the stench of death. I thought something had died in our office.
Was it 8 earned runs and 2 2/3?
I thought it was Miles Mikolas' performance. Turns out we've got a little small refrigerator, and somebody decided to not throw away cut up pineapple that you get from like the grocery store.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it had been in there, but it smelled like a corpse in our office.
That's terrible.
It was awful.
How long does this guy get? How long does he get? Like, I know he played the audio
the entire season.
No, he can't. He can't. Because this team has shown some type of life that maybe they could be a good ball club based on their offense.
If he has a couple of more bad outings, I think what you'll see is the phantom injury. That's where I was going. Prediction.
What's the difference? Like, if he's not playing well,
a soft open for a store.
Yeah.
Soft launch.
Yeah.
You're like, we'll just test the waters here. We'll open it up, but we're not really going to count it. We'll put him on the eye. We'll put him on the injured list, but we won't flat out release him in case we need him.
Yeah.
For innings, like 2 2/3. In case we need 2 2/3 innings of horrible pitching, we'll just keep him on the IL as long as we can.
He's working his hardest.
Is he?
I think so. I just think that it's not working for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's hear from Robert next.
Hey guys, here's my Redbirds mic drop. Can we go ahead and DFA Mo? Is that possible? Can we just put him out there on the waiver wire and see if there's another organization that wants a bow tie sporting lame duck, hasn't really done anything but ride Walt Jocketty's coattails, Pobo? I mean, do other teams even have Pobos? But yeah, let's DFA that fella. And we'll just go ahead and start over like immediately, starting now.
That fella. Other teams have president of baseball operations, yes. To answer that question. No, I don't think you'd DFA him.
I don't think you can trade him either.
Nope.
We got a text from the 314. It says about Mikolas, his worst ability is his availability.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good way to put that.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Is it mean? Sure. But does it make a lot of sense to everybody? Yes.
We also got a text from the 314. It says, it worries me that you know what a corpse smells like. Because you mentioned that the pineapples smelled like a corpse.
Well, I don't need to say anything else, do I?
As your lawyer, you shouldn't.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm glad I got you on retainer.
We got another mic drop from Chris, who just chimed in.
Hey guys, the worse than being injured guy is a friggin' genius. I've never heard that phrase before either, but that's exactly what Mikolas is. If he was hurt, they wouldn't pitch him, which is what they should be doing now, but they'll keep pitching him because he's not hurt. Kudos to that guy. Very smart man. I'd love to be his friend.
Damn. Well, that was Vinny, so maybe you guys can...
Yeah, they can link up.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have listener-on-listener crime, but it seems like these two want to be best friends.
That's
or at
true.
least Chris wants to be best friends with Vinny.
So what should we call that? Just listener
love.
We'll call it the triple L.
The triple L, and that's exactly what we might see out of Miles Mikolas after these next two starts. Based on what we saw in Boston yesterday, at what point does the front office, we had Robert chime in and say that we need to DFA Mo. I don't think that's possible, but, at what point do they start making moves if they believe that this team could potentially make some noise? And, we keep bringing it up. The offense, it plays. Pitching has not been great, the bullpen specifically. There's been a few good starts throughout the year. I know it's early, but... Eric Fetty, I thought Eric Fetty was going to be great based on one game against the Twins, and then Eric Fetty wasn't. So
the Twins stink, fellas.
They do.
Yeah, they do. Turns out they're
we
horrible.
can all agree on that. All right.
Here's the thing. In general, teams are always going to be slower to react than fans. Fans are instant reaction. That's what makes us fans. We see a loss, and it's like, get them out of here. Teams aren't going to be that way. Teams are going to be much slower to react. It's going to be a while. It's just how long until the front office is tired of seeing 6-7 runs being put on the board, and those offensive outings being wasted before they say, all right, cut the cord, move on, go with the young guys. It's not going to be anytime soon. I hate to tell you.
We got a text from the 314. The ump called that strike him out, throw him out. That game would have been different. Yeah. It probably would have.
I don't know if the game is much, but I think you still lose. With the way that Miles Mikolas was pitching, would he have been that bad? No, because it's 2 outs right there. Because that was a strike.
Yeah.
And that was, they were going to gun that runner down.
Which stinks, because we haven't seen that.
No, we haven't. So that was a miracle that we didn't get to see, basically, right? It didn't count. It was a miracle it didn't count.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I can be devil's advocate.
But Miles Mikolas was getting...
Well, it's one start out of 30, right?
Out of 30, that's right. I see what you're doing.
Let's not go too crazy. Yeah. It's one game. You burn the tape. You don't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have a bounce-back game in 4 days.
He did pitch decent in his first outing.
There you go.
We'll give him that.
It's a bounce back. It happens.
I think decent is all anybody can hope for right now.
It's better than that. And so let's just stay even keel, fellas.
No.
Yeah.
I want to stay even keel.
Keel. Don't
you stay even keel.
Hey,
I want to react.
You want to be up and down all year? You want to be angry? Because that's where you're headed, Anthony. You're headed for destruction. Okay?
I'm always headed for destruction.
Yeah, but you don't have to. This is a choice you're making.
All right.
You're making that choice.
Fair. You're right. You're right. Waterboy says, you guys keep saying the pitching sucks, but if the offense was a little better and scored 19 runs last night, they would have won. Waterboy's not wrong.
Very true.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Waterboy, of course, from our Snake Pit, our 101 ESPN YouTube channel, brought to you by the Air Alliance Team Studio Cams. We're off a little earlier tonight. Blues hockey. Pre-game at 5:30 right here on 101 ESPN. So we have what we learned and 3 stars of the day next in the Fastlane on 101 ESPN.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues take on the Winnipeg Jets tonight, looking to win their 13th game in a row. Pre-game starts here in less than 15 minutes at 5:30, and puck drop will be at 6:30. 5:30. The Cardinals also taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. 5:40 first pitch. If you've missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We're going to wrap up the show here next with what we learned and our 3 stars of the day. I'm Andrew March, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Strap yourself in.
If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast at 101ESPN.com or via the 101 ESPN mobile app. That's brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Of course, the podcast, though, brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Time to find out what everybody learned. Panther Claw 2025. I learned Carey isn't very knowledgeable about most sports.
Appreciate that.
I feel like Panther Claus 2025 has a real big attitude sometimes.
I think Panther Claw is joking.
Attitude.
You know? This is how you look at it, Anthony.
Reframe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this comment here. You know, it says, I went to Mizzou from 07 to 2012. The football team played Illinois the first week of every season. I definitely know what a corpse smells like.
Ouch.
I mean, I could look at that and say, that's painful.
Wow.
Or I could look at it and say, you're right. You know?
Yeah.
We lost every game. So, hey.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to admit when, bad stuff happens.
Yeah. You know what I learned today?
What'd you learn today?
Some people feel that Miles Mikolas would be better off injured than actually pitching for this Cardinals rotation.
Can you dispute it? Thank you.
Okay.
So that was what you learned. Marsh, what did you learn today?
I learned that in the hardest sports trivia contest that I've ever been a part of, in ever, Bob, someone scored 97 out of 100.
There's no way.
Not a chance.
You got to go back. Like, there's no way. Listen, with all due respect, if they didn't have, 80 mulligans, there's no way in hell you knew 97 of those questions.
No.
We do this for a living.
You lying sack of crap.
You just stop it.
Yeah. With all due respect.
With all due respect.
I mean with all due respect.
I do mean with all due respect.
You can say whatever you want.
What did I learn today? I learned that you can have listener on listener love.
Yeah.
We've had listener on listener hate, and now we have listener on listener love. 2 listeners saying, you know what? Actually, just 1 listener saying, that was a genius comment, and I want to be friends with that person. You know what it reminds me of, Carey? Reminds me of this. Everybody coming together.
I think I'll pass.
Okay. Because Jamie's not here. I get it. Marsh, do you want to go with criticisms and compliments? You got 3 stars. It's up to you where you want to go now.
Yes, of course. Let's look at Lisa, who said, have a great night, guys.
Thank you.
Lisa, you're the best of all time.
We appreciate you.
I will have a great night. There's a lot of sports on tonight. Tonight is a great night to be a sports fan. You have, at least here in St. Louis, right? You have the Cardinals, you have the Blues, and you have the Final Four tonight.
Tonight is an awesome night.
Rank those in order that you'll be watching them for me, Marshall.
I will have the Blues game on. I will have the Final Four on.
Okay.
And the Cardinals game might be on my phone. Maybe. We'll see. Actually, no. I'll have the Cardinals game on. The Final Four doesn't start till a little bit later.
Yeah.
So, we had these early starts here. So the Cardinals game will be going on before we even get home.
They on now, aren't they?
They start in about 20 minutes, give or take.
AB said, great start to the week. Thank you, AB, from the Snake Pit. And then he says, I'll clean it up. Dang it, Stoltz, with the fingers. I don't know what that means.
The fingers, you coming together.
Oh, yeah. This.
Yeah, that's too much.
Well, no, it just means we're here and we're together and it's synergy. Yeah.
I don't know if that's what that means.
Oh.
It's kind of weird.
Okay.
No, I think that's exactly what it means. Synergy. And not to be confused with synergy hockey skills. It's a different type of thing.
Yeah. Jamie runs outstanding camps. Yeah. Outstanding camps. And I think he's starting to come around on the clear camp.
I was going to say, he can always upgrade. Mm-hmm. There's one camp in particular that, and if he doesn't want to do it, there are other businesses out there.
Oh, for sure.
That are not beating the door down, Anthony.
If he doesn't want to print money, that's on him.
I mean, come on.
It's not, but let me clarify. It's not about the money. It's about helping young hockey players clear the zone.
I think we should do that.
Yep.
Marshy, you know what? Let's not worry about Jamie. We can do that.
He was never a part of it.
Okay.
He never wanted to be a part of it.
That's his loss.
Yep.
It's a massive
to
loss.
hell with him.
Yeah.
Is what we like to say.
We need to get it done.
Yep.
The 314 says there's too much love going on here. I think this was sent before we just ripped Jamie.
Oh, yeah. Good call. Yeah. Hopefully we took care of that for you.
I think so.
618. Was it the 618?
It was the 314.
The 314.
Yeah.
My apologies.
So, all right, you guys ready for the 3 stars of the day?
Waterboy. Anthony's new camp is Throw Strikes Camp. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Miles Mikolas could. You know what? Let's not.
Come on.
Kick him while he's down. Go ahead, Marsh.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 stars of the day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
All right.
Because here's the thing about Miles. He didn't even throw strikes last night and he got ripped, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Wow. That was I don't know what that was.
That was vicious.
That was tough.
I'll be honest. My bad.
All right. I'm sorry. I wanted to read off a text, but you got me confused, Anthony. Our 3rd star of the day is buying mulligans.
Buying mulligans.
Be ashamed of yourself.
To buy a trophy.
Yes.
Essentially.
Or at least to beat us.
Or beat
I mean whatever
both.
it takes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. Congratulations.
I guess.
Yeah. That was a huge trophy, by the way.
That was
massive. It was a massive trophy. 2nd star of the day goes out to that Canadian Wi-Fi that worked today.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, it's always kind of a mystery whether or not that Canadian Wi-Fi is going to work.
Winter pig, 12 degrees. That's brutal.
And our 1st star of the day goes out to being worse than injured.
Oh, man. That's tough.
That, of course, the reference to Miles Mikolas from Vinny's mic drop. So, Vinny, well done. Well done. AB says, my bad, sorry. That you feel that way. Yeah. So we got Blues and Jets pregame coming up in 5 minutes or so. So we'll have the Blues and the Jets pregame. We'll also have the puck drop at 6:30 right here on the Blues Radio Network 101 ESPN. Quick shout out to our guy Gator. Let's go Gator. And let's go Florida. Gator, our biggest Florida Gators fan in ever, Bob.
Yep.
He joins us pretty much every day from his home in Florida. He listens. We'll be rooting for you. Now, when I say we, I mean Marsh and I. Because Carey picked the Houston Cougars.
I'm rooting for a good game. I love them Cougars.
Get out. For Andrew Marsh, for Jamie Rivers, for Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Blues, Jets, pregame now. See you.